right. That's live, and bam. Your audios are live as well. So,
hello,
squad.
Sweet. That means we can make noises.
You can, in fact, you can make noises. We can tell everyone about Ello's slick boyfriend hair.
Really? I told you that in confidence.
In confidence.
That is as the pre-show before we're live. You put me on blast. You put my hair on blast.
You have beautiful hair.
Well, it's not like your community isn't already aware of it,
baby.
See, we have to do the pre-show like we did with Mummy's Mask, where we let everybody know we're live, but we forget we're live.
Yeah. And
it's the best of clips.
We would just go off track, and like we would like middle dungeon delve, and it would I don't even know. There's just so many fucking bizarre topics that we would span on.
I just Coke cans. That's all I remember.
Oh my god, the Coke.
I've made some mistakes with stories I've told.
We all have. Okay, I can break out the Dino Nuggies story, but I don't know. Maybe a different time.
I thought you were gonna say that you made mistakes with Coke cans, and I was like, "What in the?"
I mean, I have, but
entirely wrong.
You're not that far off.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it wasn't an actual Coke can, but it might as well have been.
All right, okay, fair enough.
And now
that hurt my face.
We are deep in the tale, guys. Let's talk about what happened last time we played.
Oh, I should probably bring up my notes.
Yeah, can we tell
I was like, I feel like
Ellohime?
my monitors aren't taken up as much. I'm like, I wonder why.
Ronald,
we all have things on our feet. We'll start from the back.
For the sake of your happiness and clearly everybody else's, I'll let you start us off.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
listen, you guys want to talk about like foot fetish stuff?
We need a couple of things.
Okay, tell me about it.
First off, I need to slow down on my ice cream because my face is now hurting.
Oh, wow.
Second, everyone in chat, if you haven't done so already, get your rest to get possessed for tonight's harrowing recap. Oh, my leg. Welcome back.
Some things never get old. Some things never get old.
I am your host, the Bubbernaut.
Oh.
With the one right there, XanderDarks. That guy.
Go for it. Go for it, me.
Xander, why don't you tell him what's going on with the recap?
Hey, Xander, why don't you tell him what's going on with that
recap? So last session, we've had a couple of things happen.
Yeah.
I was robbed of 2 temporary hit points by Imperial.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, you were also given your life back, pretty much.
I didn't have my life back because it was still gone. You know, I'm dead already.
I feel like a lot of other stuff happened before that.
Yes. Well,
he's like, no, that was the only event of
no. So prior to this, there was a chase with a wolf, and that we found out was the Lopper. Correct?
There wasn't much confidence in that.
I'm trying to remember if it was a Lopper.
Can anybody else remember?
There's a polymorph wolf ran off with one of the documents.
Yeah, they went off chasing after wolf. I'm not sure about that.
You can probably field a guess.
It smiled, but it didn't say who it was.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Wait, a polymorph? I mean, we don't know that, right?
Polymorphed or possessed corpse of a wolf picked up the
briefcase.
5th document.
Mm-hmm.
Can it be polymorph and have a tail missing consistently?
It was like a briefcase.
It has lots of pieces falling.
I mean, yeah, it was decomposing.
I don't know if polymorph is quite the right series of spells that's happening here.
I think it was a form of possession, like corpse
the
possession,
wolf.
possibly.
The wolf always seems to like pop up when the Lopper is around.
Yeah,
a lot of the time.
Yeah,
but
it was missing his
we
tail,
don't know
too.
that it is the Lopper, right? Because the Lopper is the one that like always smooths his hair back.
Correct.
So he's talked to us, but we don't know if the wolf is the same one. I think also what some of the information we found out said that one of the inmates was more animal than man or something like that as well.
Yeah.
So that could be the wolf.
Yeah.
Okay.
As well.
So yeah, you encountered a wolf. There was a bit of a chase. Where exactly did that lead?
To a river.
To a river.
A river. Yeah. What happened to that river?
The wolf.
We almost lost a dwarf.
Yeah.
Yes, we go.
Wyld
into
went
the woods,
scuba
yeah.
diving for a briefcase.
It was a moment that had to be done. So I did it. So,
You know what the problem was? Because you're a stone dwarf. You,
sank like a proverbial.
yeah, you should have skipped. See?
Oh, but I couldn't have reached it, but that's a great idea.
Skipping
I'll
stones. There you
Try
go.
to make that like belief roll the next time I go swimming, and I'm just like, get.
Yeah.
Skipping
easy
stones and breaking bones.
Lord, I'm
That's how I live my life.
like I said last session. I'm not here to say no. I'm a yes but kind of guy. So if you want to try it, wow me and let me have this moment. So by all means,
You
if you want
heard
to skip
it
your
here.
stones.
Bub is into butts.
Well, the shoe fits, I
Stone
suppose.
butts.
I mean, that escalated quickly as well. Like, wow.
If the butt fits.
If the butt fits, good lord. Yeah, indeed. So, with that in mind, you didn't quite skip stones. You sunk like a
No,
stone. For
sunk
what
straight
purpose? Why did you do that?
So there was a moment when we were obtaining information about the inmates, and in a moment of confusion, the undead, tried to take that from us, and Torvin simply decided that wasn't going to happen anymore. We keep being attacked from the sides. So I thought, no, I want to take that back. So we followed it, tracked it, just got to the edge of the river, and we were trying to find a way to cross, trying to figure out where it could be. We have to backtrack and go around. That wasn't going to take too long. So no other options. He jumped in and sank spectacularly. Did manage to get hold of the case, but that was it. So the only way out was our friendly neighborhood paladin went fishing.
Yeah.
And
Like
luckily,
magic grappling hook.
yeah, I swear we're going to elevate that grappling hook to a party member, an official party member.
It's a multi-tool.
Yeah. So Torvin was able to grab hold of it, and basically we got out just barely. Just. However, when we got back, the contents.
Yeah, you guys had a lot of really lucky rolls there.
Nuts. Yeah.
Wow,
and not just
lucky
rerolls,
rerolls.
just a couple of straight out 20s. So yeah, we were very, yes,
It was pretty interesting.
close.
It turned out really, really well. Yeah, so you're able to recover the briefcase, but you weren't feeling very confident in its contents.
But
What?
we did take
Wet.
it back from them.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you guys find out was in these briefcases?
So much information.
Mm-hmm.
It was like some sort of written
Basically, like their prisoner records, right?
They were dossiers.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
These were prisoner dossiers.
The trading cards of the Big Five.
In a way, yeah. Weren't exactly possessing the rear spokes of a bicycle, but you were able to find that 4 of these were completely salvageable. But first, you met a new character, a new NPC.
Ghoroven.
Yeah, Ghoroven. He was not everybody's favorite. In fact, I thought for a brief moment it was going to go to fisticuffs, particularly with Rye.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rye was gonna cut that dude in half.
He's kind of mean to me too.
That only made
But
Ryan
then-
angrier.
I found out that he might have been the master of my master. And so that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, you've got to be. It's like if you're a wizard, the older of a wizard you are, the far more pompous you are, or significantly more drugged you are. This guy might be between column A and column B at this point, so he's just existing. What else did you notice about him? Particularly Rye, like you noticed something about him right away. Torvin, you also took an interest in something about him. It was one of the senses.
The smell.
His smell.
Yeah. Of varied and wide tobacco use.
Yeah, that's a safe assumption. He smelled of a very wild, very wild aroma, something that was akin to what you would guess is like marijuana, something like that.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I
Maybe.
just remembered.
Pungent.
The character.
Yeah. I've been trying to like distance myself from thoughts of the other campaign, right?
Mhm.
Just to try to approach this, and I completely forgot about this guy. Wow. Okay.
But-
With the spectral sticky icky, as it were.
Oh my
Yeah, he
God.
snapped and
Yeah.
opened
More
all the
reason to be
locks
friends with him.
He did.
Man.
He did snap open all the locks. He
because Ello
He-
didn't want to show us his keyhole.
Oh,
Listen,
so
I
good.
wasn't quite ready to reveal that key. Okay, now hold on a second. Is my key essentially useless now? All that druggery, and now
It's
I
gonna.
didn't use the key.
Yes, that is accurate. Out of game, yeah, that is completely accurate.
You're gonna
Damn
get that
it, man.
notification like in Resident Evil. It's like you no longer need this key. Discard it.
Well, yeah, I know, man. I was like hoping maybe I'd be able to like pop it open later or something, like when nobody was around.
Oh yeah, the
but-
chests also had runes on them. I forgot about that. They had little glowy symbols.
That we didn't see. So
Right,
we're
only
like
you saw
Tripp
that.
be tripping.
Yeah. I think those rewards, I think, against each individual ghost, if that makes sense. Or at least if they were alive, it was worded specifically against them.
Man, I just didn't want to pull out the key when Eli was asking because he would have been so judgy. I was trying to get judged.
Hey man, now he doesn't know that you have it.
Truth.
So don't get
Yeah.
judged.
You're
That's
right.
what I do. I judge people. I'm a paladin.
He
I
did
mean,
teach us some other
true.
stuff. We found out that there's a ley line. The reason why there's so many crazy, weird magic things is that there is a ley line below
Hmm.
that is run by like an elder elemental.
Yeah.
And there's
An
childer
earth
elementals.
elemental.
That he said he would introduce us to.
What
the
did he call
steward.
them? The stewards. Yes,
The-
they're
yeah.
stewards.
Yeah.
And it's just out of game. How do you think this functions? These smaller elementals. What do you think this is? Did I explain? I don't remember if I explained that last time.
There was a story of like they were lifting up like a fire elemental for like a forge or something like that.
No, that was Torog's, one of Torog's stories
Oh,
that,
okay.
that Eli recalled. So these things are essentially. You ever had like a hangnail, and you could just like peel away that hangnail, and it's just like discarded skin, right? It's just a little something extra. That's essentially what these stewards are. They're bits of his outer layer that have fractured away from what he is. So the carbon will build up. He continues to grow. That's the thing about these elementals. So if something has no natural predator and it is not limited to the confines of its environment, they will continue to grow until they reach the capacity, courtesy of their surroundings, right? Like it's sort of like how we have like ozone pressure, that sort of thing. But elementals don't really rely on all of the rules of the natural living world. That's why people tend to not fuck with them, because they're super scary and they don't care. They're just existing like part of Mother Nature, and that's just what it is. So these are essentially they're fractures of himself that have just had so much magic running through them that they've taken on sentience, and they're existing as well. They're existing as a totally entirely different offset entity. It's not like insert Elder Elemental's name, part 3, part 17, part whatever. These are just smaller entities that are fractured away from the larger entity.
Sexual. It just births from itself.
Yeah. And those are his stewards, or its stewards, or whatever it wants to seem to go by at this point. If it's old enough, if it's gathered enough sentience and it can communicate with the living world above it, it's likely that it's adapted some sort of moniker. And that's something that you guys might be able to
Could
figure
the
out.
old man in disguise.
You mean
I
I
must
also
say,
found out Torvin's
Torvin's a little concerned being a fellow entity of stone, sort of.
Sure.
Torvin does not know how to take this.
I want to see how that plays
Dad
out.
is nearby.
Maybe it could be like an uncle or an aunt. I'm
Yeah.
not really sure.
Aw,
Son.
it's a cousin.
Hello, brother.
Yeah.
Dad.
Looks at it, it's like looking in the mirror. It's like, what do you think, guys? Got his looks, right? Me? Yeah,
Wait,
checks out.
Hold on, but if a Elder Earth Elemental punishes one of its stewards, are they grounded?
But
Ah.
I like it. I like it.
I'm here for the next 3 hours, guys.
We got
plenty of time. We got plenty of time, chat. I got more of these zingers. I'm a father.
Go to your room. My God, go to your room.
Terrible.
Me a Gar from
Terrible.
Molten Core with all of his little dudes around him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Molten Core.
Perfect.
Me too.
Well, yeah, you guys, you did uncover that. You learned a lot about Elender in a very short period of time. Very, very short period of time. Is there anything else that you may have acquired in that time?
Lots of knowledge from in those files.
Yes. Yeah, let's start with that.
Yeah, can you guys catch me up on what happened like the last 5 minutes? Because I had to dip.
We also burned the runes in the bedroom away too.
No.
Well, that was
Not
way
we.
earlier. Not we. Maybe someone.
Wild magic.
Okay. All
Not
right.
me.
Everyone was safe for all of 15 seconds. Okay. When Rai left him, he was still safe. He was like, all right, spellcasters, this is you guys. Good luck. I'm going to go do what I do, which is, intimidate people, threaten people, and I'm going to stand outside, And
He was so upset when we weren't really watching, like Tripp and
Dude, I tried to save his life and everything. I threw him in that room. It's like the smartest thing Rai's ever fucking done.
Yep.
And and
now they'll just take that away from us. Just like that.
Yeah.
Just gone.
Literally like sharks in like sharks in the water. Just ghosts just getting ready to possess him. I was like, dang, they're about to take my whip. Gotta go back.
Oh my God.
We're gonna rewind back. We also got to ask a question.
You did.
Which was,
Yeah, you did.
we asked who or what is the current name of the person or thing that the Way is looking for in Harrowstone, and we found out it was the Warden, which is valuable information.
Yeah.
Which kind of answers some other questions that we had too, like why the Warden, like about the Warden's wife and some other stuff. So intriguing.
About that question, just so everybody is aware, the luck rerolls have been filled courtesy of Dritz. Dritz came in earlier. This Dritz 941, he dropped a hot 50 subs and that bought everybody's luck rerolls tonight, including mine. Thank you so much, Dritz. And Jen Human came through and picked up tonight's harrowing card. I've already shown the players. This is the Mountain Man. So that everybody can see that. The Mountain Man. I know what it does. You guys don't. That's the best part about it. I might tell you a little later, or you may never find out. But either way, it is on the table, and we can commence henceforth. Tell me about the files. The dossiers. 4 of the 5 were good.
All of them except for
Father.
Father Charlatan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Charlatan, yep.
He was the only one that you were not able to get information, but you were able to pick up something, courtesy of a charcoal scrub from Torvin.
It was 2 words, right?
You got 3 things. Three words. Blasphemous.
Got a name.
Corvin was his name, and the word blasphemy.
Yep. Sethic Corvin and blasphemous, which you probably had gathered from that point. So, tell me about the 4 others.
One of them was the Piper of Ilmarsh that we had gotten information on. And my dumbass did not write. No, I did write down his name. I just don't have it on this.
Whose name?
Well, Piper, we
Piper
didn't get a name for. His
The
name
Piper?
was unknown.
Yeah, his
Oh no,
name
it
was
says
unknown.
that's right.
He was a mournful dirge, and he dosed people's meals with lich dust.
Uh-huh.
He
And
would
had
taunt them with the
surges
pipe
that he
before
sucked-
he got them, yeah.
Yeah.
sucked the victims dry. And there's no victim count for him. but
Correct.
There's said to be dozens.
That is correct. No known amount, though he had confessed to at least dozens. So, that was who again?
The
That was
Piper of
The
Ilmarsh.
Piper of Ilmarsh. Give me another one. Anybody?
I have them all, but
Let's see if anybody else can get a name.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
the
yeah.
the Lopper? Are we ready to go down?
Yeah, we haven't done the Lopper
real
yet.
names though.
The Lopper. What do we know about the Lopper?
He really liked
to fix
heads.
his hair.
He liked to hide and for long periods of time and wait
Hmm.
for the exact time to jump out and then cut their heads off. And he had a special axe that he used, I believe, as well. And
Yes.
he was very charming and narcissistic, and or known to be handsome as well.
Yep. They believe that he should have been jailed before he could even handle the weapon. Something was just always off
people
about
said
him.
he was not all there.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
right.
he was supposed to be. He should have been institutionalized before. Yeah, before that. Yeah.
It's two.
His name was Vance Satrussel or
Vance Satrussel. Yep.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Vance Satrussel. What else we got? That's two of the four. Zalobber and the Piperville Marsh.
Spider-Man.
The Splatterman.
Maybe. Okay. Yep. He's from Caliphus.
Yep, Caliphus. What else do we know about Splatterman?
Got a lot of information on him.
It's about this time that I know that Rye, Ello had a dib, so he's not going to have this.
His name was Heen
Heen Ferriman.
Ferryman or something like that. He was an anthroponomastics.
Anthroponomastics.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Anthroponomastics.
Which is the study of personal names and origins. He's a professor. And he had an accidental relationship with a succubus, which is an interesting situation to be in anyways.
There was a circle. They slipped.
Yes.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think we've all been there.
Hmm.
I know for certain that I have been in an accidental relationship with a succubus. I thought it was a human being that was decent.
You never plan it. You never plan one.
Yeah, you never plan it, you know, and all of a sudden you're there. It's been 2 years. You're with this person. You're like, you know.
Well, I mean, we try not to plan it, but shit happens.
Oh my gosh. And he would terrify and control people with the name. With the
Yeah.
Yeah,
name.
the power of a name.
Yeah.
Splatterman. Heen Ferriman. He was Professor Ferriman. He was celebrated as a scholar of anthroponomastics, which is the study of personal names and their origins, at the Quarterfoe Archives in Caliphus. Yet, due to an accidental association with the succubus, his mind twisted and warped in his study. This turned it into an obsession. Ferriman had become obsessed with the power of a name and how he could use it to terrify and control. Soon enough, his reputation was ruined. He lost his tenure. He's developed an uncontrollable obsession with an imaginary link between a person's name and what happens to that name when a person dies. Every few days, he would secretly arrange for his victims to find a letter of their name written in blood, smeared on a wall, or spelled out carefully arranged in trails. Once he had spelled his victims' names, he would at last come for them, killing them in a gory mess using a complex trap or a series of rigged events meant to look like an accident.
We got a lot of information on him.
He might be currently using his calling card because we've found, 3 letters already?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Was
I
it
think he's gonna try to
with
kill
body
the ghost
parts?
lady.
Yeah.
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 Was it
I think he's going after
VSE
the
or something like
ghost
that?
It was
lady.
VE, the letters that we got so far. But we think we know who that is. We think we know. I think it's the
We think it's Visoriana.
Soriana.
yeah. Sorry.
And that would make sense because it says that he torments them, and she was there at the house when we found the letter under the bed.
Yes.
Downstairs, and she was at the statue
Yep.
when Oz stuck around.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
I have a plan about how to cope with this individual. We never mention our last names ever. Because, come on, you've got to put the full name there if you're going to kill somebody. You can't just cheat out and do the first part of a name. That's easy. That's
It's all
amateur
Dave.
hour.
There's
You've got
like
to have the
30 Daves here.
He's a
Like, who is he
professor.
after?
He needs the full name, so we never mention our last names.
Oz is
some of
like,
us never mentioned their first names.
Oz is like,
Oz is like,
I don't have a last name.
Yeah.
Oz is screwed.
Oh well.
Hobgoblin life. We don't get last names. We're all part of one big family.
yeah, that's true.
By family, I mean army.
Yes. One last name that you guys actually gained the details to.
We got
yeah, maybe
Moss
Torvin
Water
wants to
Marauder.
take that one.
which is Ispin.
I don't know what
Onyx
you're talking
Cudgel.
about.
The Mosswater Marauder, Ispin Onyx Cudgel, yes.
That was the one that
Yeah,
Torvin
Torvin
caught,
helped
right?
capture him.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
right.
A citizen helped capture him.
What do we know about him?
A lot of things.
Well, I
He
know
was,
I know that you guys wrote it down. I just want to know what you guys can remember before I spill those beans again. Because you technically have the files. You can read them at any time.
Yeah. I mean, I can say stuff. if
Yeah,
you
go
want.
for it.
I
Go for it.
remember.
Becky's like that kid in the class that always has their hand
Like,
up,
raise
and
my
the
hand, I'm
teacher's
I
like,
know.
and
Like
the teacher's
anybody
like,
else.
People a
Oh, yeah.
chance.
Anybody
Sorry.
else?
Just Oz? Okay, Oz. Save us, please.
Well, that's
I really
usually
am.
me, so I'm happy to have her do it.
I really am. I always have been. It's a problem. But you want just so you all know, viewers back home, I have 20 pages of notes.
Oh, God.
So that's a thing.
That's
Um,
something that makes a storyteller cry.
a lot of them correlate with each other, and this is just like writing simple words. I'm not even like writing that much. For the Mosswater murder, their name is Ispin Onyx Cudgel, and 5 years before his hometown Mosswater, monsters near the there were monsters near the water or something like that. That's what happened. I can't remember exactly the details on that front.
His hometown was overrun and ruined by monsters
Yeah,
from the
that's
nearby
what it
river.
was. And then he used to be like a doting husband, but then, gasp, he discovered his wife's infidelity, and he shattered her skull because that's retribution, I guess. But then he felt a little bit of shame and guilt, and he convinced himself that he could like rebuild his wife's skull, and that maybe if he did that, she would come back to life because he cuckoo. But he couldn't find the last piece as he was trying to put her head back together, which is horrifying in all its
And normal.
itself. So instead, this little dwarf stalked and murdered people to find the final piece. And he captured a noble daughter. But that was like when Torvin had helped find him, because there was like a noble's daughter that went missing, and then he helped find her, and him, I suppose.
Yes. Over the course of several weeks following the murder of his wife, the cunning dwarf stalked and murdered nearly 20 more additional people searching for the right skull fragment. He was captured just before murdering the daughter of a visiting nobleman from Varn. He was carted off to Harrowstone that same night. He was discovered and captured by Torvin.
You little badass.
So the story that's written is, of course, Torvin did capture them, drag them back to see justice, and saw justice done. That was meant to be the end of the story.
Yeah.
But apparently not.
Confero, you're right. We do need a wiki so that things can be linked together.
I set it up for the last one. I don't mind setting one up.
I don't mind,
It'd
man.
be easier.
If folks want to jump in, by all means.
I see that
I
scene
pretty much have my own wiki.
from exactly.
Yeah,
I see that scene from
help fill it out.
7, where that cliche scene where the detectives are like up all night. They have like half a glass of wine and the shirt's all undone.
I want wine
And
now.
Maggie has 20 notes
Yep.
that she has out, and she's like sipping the wine. She's like getting tired, just trying to think. It's just this is what she does every night until we D&D.
Someone walks through, asks some very mundane question. They're like, "Hey, how do you feel about grapes?" And
then she
she's like,
shuffles the
"Hold the fuck on.
papers. Yeah,
Grapes!
and like
That's it.
got it.
That's the link.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whenever she's
great.
thinking, you just walk past her like, "Why is your room black and white?" She's like, "Well, she's all started 30 years ago when I first started this game." And it's like noir music starts
Like noir
playing.
music. Yeah.
Oh, I've always wanted to do like a noir style campaign where everybody's like black and white. everyone talks like
Flappers.
and like everything's
That'd be
narrated.
amazing.
She walked into the cold, dark room.
Like Max Payne.
Oh,
Like Max
Yeah.
Payne style.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, I'm down.
He opened the fridge
that'd be
and
so
he immediately closed it and then opened it again, realizing that
Yeah.
no matter how many times he did that, there was still no food.
Like, fucking, you said Max Payne, and I just immediately recalled like one of the lines I remember hearing. It's like, he was shot and he bled like a broken bottle of Tabasco sauce. Like, what?
Yeah, dude, he
I
had
love
like the
it.
best lines. They were so
Yeah.
good and so over the top. It's great.
It's kind of nuts.
He was treated worse than quinoa on a main dinner plate. Girl,
Yeah,
I don't
City
follow that, but
Oh my god. Yeah, you there was one that I can think of. There's one additional piece of information
Ooh, I missed something.
that didn't come through, at least for Ello. It was the very last bit. What the story ended on.
Our feet.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We have moles on our feet.
Yeah, athlete's
it's
foot.
fine. The professor has claimed us using like a magical weave, and that's horrifying.
We're necromancers.
Wait,
I was gonna
hold
say
on a
Pathfinder
second.
necromantic.
Yeah. See, that's how I thought you'd react.
There's necromancer magic in our feet. So they looked at my toes because I wasn't wearing shoes, and I have a little mark. It's not
And we know it came
And
from
we
this
all
guy.
do.
Yeah, no, it came
No,
from Professor L.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lower mark.
The-
He,
mark you
he-
guys.
he showed us that he has one too. We all.
That's
have
why
it.
we can all see crazy stuff. We're thinking.
Like at some point, he kissed the bottom of your foot, and like you got some circle on
He
it.
didn't do that.
This is why you don't do foot stuff.
Ronald, you're fucking him up right now.
He got his tongue at night, and he was
Just
all,
don't listen
just
to
right
him.
on the right on the
Oh
heel.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
You're
no.
making it hard not to kink shame.
Can you imagine what?
Hold-
Can you imagine what Oz's feet look like if you had to lick Oz's foot?
I'm guessing like
no,
Shaq's feet.
I
and
don't
just-
want to.
Mm.
You still gotta bite the callus first, and then you do it. You use all in you.
Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
gonna walk away,
no.
man.
All the little bumps.
Okay,
Yeah,
hold
the
on, hold
extra
on, hold on.
fungus.
I'm
It's been a great
catching
night.
up.
Good night, all.
I'm catching up here. Okay, so we just spontaneously discover altogether that we all have they're moles on our feet.
Alendru asked Oz specifically to see his feet.
Yeah, because I brought up I kept asking him stuff. I was asking the wizard. I mean, I'm
Lots.
a sorcerer. I'm gonna ask the wizard a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Of course. And the answer was look at your feet.
Yeah, and then I was like,
He had a
all
theory,
right.
and it's something that you guys can discover a bit more about. But he said that the professor Petros took a bit more
What stuff?
to runic magic, runic markings. It was a matter of discovery that you could only see through like arcane spectrums. So this totally makes sense why Rye and Torvin and Eli would never have seen this. Temerity and Oz, maybe a bit more, but how often do you peer in the arcane spectrum and look down at your own feet? You're talking an incredibly rare circumstance that might make that happen.
You know, guys, when you always look up, always look down.
But then my eyes go everywhere, and it's terrible.
So you have to ask yourselves, when did that occur? When were you marked? And for what reason were you marked?
He also used that word, marked. Like that's a word.
He said
You know?
he said Professor claimed us. He literally used
He
the
did say
words
claim.
the professor claimed us.
I can't wait till Rye finds this out in character. He's gonna be super pleased.
He was there
And
so-
calm.
or-
Right, but I mean like Ella.
This is
Yeah.
the scene opening up.
This is the scene that we
realizing-
were just on. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna grab a
you
bottle
guys
of water.
can
I'll be
see-
right back. You
And
guys
let me
continue.
see Tripp's ghostly form too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
You guys can see what I look like now.
You look jacked.
Yeah, dude, I got this
Creepy
mean ass
AF.
6-pack. I like.
No, jacked up. Not that kind of jacked. Different jacked.
No, it's both,
Jack.
all right.
Sounds delicious too.
They're like he's ripped and ripped up. I'm like, yep. Follow Tripp's
Yes,
OnlyFans.
little concerning, but all right.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
sure I like
That'd be
this
such a
whole-
creepy OnlyFans. It's just like
I think-
undead body parts.
Would
Hey,
subscribe.
look at my elbow.
It's like all these pictures, but it's just an empty room. He's like, well, if you're dead, you could see what I'm showing, but you can't. So.
My gosh. Please do that. You just got your $1 million idea right there.
Yep. I'm all, hey guys, I started a ghost OnlyFans.
I don't have
Oh,
a
man.
conspiracy board. Everyone wants to see my conspiracy
Oh my gosh.
board.
Maybe the professor was actually a bad guy.
I just realized
Ooh.
with the
I mean,
undead with the necromantic
Or at least
energy.
just not good.
It's
Okay.
like I don't want to say it's like a pun, like a Walking Dead reference, but it kind of feels like that in some sense.
Maybe.
Bony fans. Oh my lord.
Or
Bony
Could have
fans.
marked us to
Mhm.
try to get the souls to possess us or something.
Maybe.
You know.
What are you guys
Because they were
capable of
talking
doing
about
that nobody else in town can do?
Kill others very effectively.
I kill things.
Magic?
I can cook a mean soup.
See the ghosts and
Wink
the
at
undead
lots
stuff?
of ladies.
You can see the ghosts.
Yep.
Right.
I can establish a lovely
Because of
paving
our-
system
Oh,
with
moles.
guttering.
Particularly, you can see what's happening to Peverin when nobody else can.
True.
What are the odds, just planting this seed, what are the odds that the professor knew about Peverin's situation?
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Very high.
distinct.
Very high. If he was like homies with the people that showed up to his funeral are very telling
Yeah.
of certain things.
Yes.
And especially with the knowledge that I know about Jamenda, well, yeah, I definitely think that he probably knows that. He probably knows Jamenda's secret. He
And
probably
he's-
knew
if he's
Catherine's
the
secret or
master
whatever the hell her
too,
name is.
they were saying that he taught Peverin. So, if he's right under Ghoroven, and Ghoroven taught Peverin, then
Petros, you mean?
No, Peverin
No,
also
Peverin
saw
as
to
well.
Alendra as well.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, because he teaches kids.
yeah, because Rye was like, "Is there anyone that when he was talking to Zokar, like, was there anyone that from an early age took an interest in him, etc.?" And he's
cares
like,
for
"Oh, or
a lot of the
Ghoroven
children
taught
in
him."
town.
All the ones that are gifted or whatever that can talk to the wardens, I guess, is what he was saying.
Yes. Yeah, so you've got this very, very interesting character in front of you, this Alendra Ghoroven.
Stewards.
And yeah, correct. And he has quite a lot to tell, quite a lot that you can learn from him. And I know Ello has remembered a bit more about this character from a previous game. He's certainly someone that is worth discovering a bit more about. Everything comes at a
He said
cost.
that he would take us to the stewards at a later time or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, and
He asked about that.
something worth noting from the previous session, Maggie, you said something that kind of like leaps out, which was when you were trying to determine whether or not he was being genuine about what he does in the town. You're like, I want to sense motive. I want to see if this guy's like pulling
I
one
was
over on
sus,
us.
but yeah.
And you followed it with, because people in this town, they've all got something that they're hiding. And it's true. The people of this town were either born here and they will die here, or they're runaways.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell? They're all coming to this one place. Who started this town? Actually, I already know that, but yeah.
You guys have a ton of information. At this point, it's going to come down to you really starting to sleuth through the details, putting some pieces together before you can discover exactly what's occurring. And with that, we can start our tale. We can kick off right here, following the discovery of the necromantic energy that had been marked on the bottom of each of your feet, with an exception to Tripp. Remember, you had seen exactly what Tripp looked like. I'll make that available again. This should pop up on your screens. If it does not, let me know. That's Tripp. I'll even make this available for the viewers at home so that you guys can see this.
I don't see
I don't
it.
see
but I'll
it.
Look on.
Weird.
Oh, wow.
This is what Tripp looks like.
Tripp, you need to stop skipping arm day.
Yeah,
Oh,
Tripp. You bastard.
look cute. Look at my little smile.
You don't have a bottom jaw.
You seemed
My-
a lot more human when you're possessing a human.
Yeah.
How are you talking without
Yeah.
a jaw? That's the question.
People are like, "What that mouth doing?" I'm like, "What mouth?
What that mouth doing?"
It's terrible. You're terrible. Oh my God. And this is where we kick off. Today's experience starts here in a very closed quarters with Zokar, Alendra Ghoroven, Tripp, and the rest of the squad. You are inside of the Laughing Demon. The tensions are very high. Everybody has just discovered that your bodies have been marked with this necromantic aura and energy. Alendra has said that the professor was once his student. Wasn't very brilliant in those studies, but a brilliant man in other ways. And this is where it begins. With each of you glancing down at the sole of your foot, you can each discover these marks. Set scene. It is available now and open to anyone and everyone.
And the person who told us this about these markings, that was
Ghoroven. Yeah, the mangy guy.
Right at looking down at his foot and finding this is starting to eye everybody. Like everyone. He's
Guess we got more in common than we knew.
Are you at all surprised?
Oz is not.
I'll just look up at him with like my boot, like a boot in my hand, sitting on the floor, like, yeah, a little. I don't even know when this would have happened. Does anyone know when this would have happened to them?
Why?
Well, yeah, we got to get there too. I don't disagree.
When were you last under employ of Petros? He had to be near you to mark you in this way.
Many years ago.
Maybe just a few years since I've seen him.
Magic can be quite an obstinate thing, unless it is removed via similar properties. It may last for forever.
Are you telling me that he could have done this years ago?
I'm saying that your unusual circumstances are connected, and that the likelihood of him doing this is rather high. Not everything is done purely by coincidence or circumstance.
Rye mutters something under his breath about the old man knowing.
Sure, I'm going to try to give it a shot here. It's just a simple, like, are you doing like a full sentence, a word?
Yeah, like Rye is like putting things together, and he's looking at everybody, and he's not looking too. He's not too happy about this news, and he's just starting to like put it together, and he's shaking his head, and he's just saying, like, that old bastard knew. He knew.
Sure, I'm gonna give him a roll to see if he hears you. He can. It's not anything that you hide, right? Like your frustration is palpable.
Yeah.
Though he can't quite make out exactly
I'm,
what you're saying, you can see it.
Yeah, I'm boiling right now.
Okay.
Tripp will look over to Ghoroven, correct? Is his name?
Yes.
Looks over to Ghoroven. Is the magic that's bound to them, is it harmful? Will it cause any damage to them over time, especially being here? Now
magic
that it's active.
Everyone grows rather fearful of the term magic. It's a bit of a boogeyman when it is muttered. The truth is, magic is relatively harmless. It's all an application. Intent. Has it harmed you yet? Then no.
What? Magic? This thing?
What was the part that worried you? When I said magic, or when I said necromantic?
Well,
Tripp kind of raises his hand and points, like, that's the word.
I think the part that worries me is that I wasn't aware of it and I wasn't told of its purpose.
Indeed. He wished to hide it from you. Its purpose is not entirely unbeknownst to me. I can decipher its reason, but why is a different story.
Well, perhaps you could give us that starting thread, maybe.
Well, this is laced behind enchantment. Its purpose, dual in nature, one of which to hold it in place, the other of which to discover something hidden by typically unseen eyes. Its location, doubly so. At any point had you encountered a spectrum, a vision of someone trying to peer over the top of you, and he kind of pans around each of you. You mostly Inquisitor. In your line of work, I would imagine that many watchful eyes have peered over the top of you, and this would have been seen. But through the sole of your boot would have been a bit more difficult unless they were looking specifically. His intention was to hide, and I believe that he'd succeeded in such, though it's hard to hide some truths from the one that taught you. He wasn't very tricky. He was rather cunning, though, in his age. I think its purpose was to be able to sense something more. And I'm willing to guess, based on your mere reactions to the boy, that you can see something more than I can. Please, correct me if I'm wrong.
See, like, Tripp covers, like, his face, or, like, Peverin's face.
Oh, you mean the creepy apparition that's been haunting us since we've gotten here?
Well, I
Making
suppose.
the boy do odd things and even harm others. If it hadn't been for Temerity and her quick wit.
Yes. The boy is a creature of odd circumstance. Well, I don't know the premise of such, or its birthright text. I can understand that he has drawn something darker to himself.
All of a sudden, Rye says, kind of under his breath, but loud enough for people to hear, and he sounds very angry. And he just says, "Get rid of it. Get rid of it." And he's looking at, is it Ghoroven?
Ghoroven.
Ghoroven.
I can, with a small amount of time, assemble something to remove said enchantment. But it was done so with precision and care. The level of magic is, well, high enough.
Get rid of it now.
Would you just have me remove your leg?
And at this, is there like a table nearby?
Yeah, of course. You're in a tavern.
I fucking freak out. I freak out and I flip the table. I mean, I just grab it and boom, just flip it. And after I do that, I go and I attempt to grab Ghoroven by his robe. I try to grab him and pick him up to me.
You got it. Go for it. Give me a strength check. He's not going to resist you.
Sure.
Is everybody just going to let him?
I was going to step in.
But I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I have fallen on the floor.
I will have put my foot back in my boot and stood up at this. I'm not going to try to, Eli might, but I'm not going to try to break it up. I'm just kind of watching.
Right. You managed to get
I don't think I'd break it up, but I would say something.
You grab him by the robes at this point. And you kind of curl it up around your knuckles and you're preparing to lift. And Eli, what do? Do you throw an arm out or?
I'll step right up to their side and say, hold on now, we wouldn't even know about those marks without him, and he's the only one that can maybe tell us how to get rid of them before we do anything.
Not paying attention to Eli. I'm still looking at Ghoroven, and I'm saying, I'm getting louder, and I'm saying, get rid of it.
I'm going to assist Eli and kind of come up on the other side and be like,
Now, I think he's right. Right. Maybe this isn't the right thing to do. He's just trying to help us out, and maybe there's a reason Professor L put these on us. I mean, he's done a lot for me, and I don't imagine he would ever try to put me in harm's way. Maybe without this, we won't be able to protect ourselves. If it's true what he's saying, that this allows us to see things that are unseen, well, then if we're planning to go to Harrowstone, we probably want to be able to see those things. What would you do if you were attacked by something you couldn't see? That doesn't sound good.
Is Eli's hand like on me?
I'm not sure.
No, I'm
definitely not touching you
anybody,
either.
because I know that you're weird about that after seeing other people interact with you.
Okay.
I look over at Oz for saying this, and I look over Oz and Temerity, and I'm like, get rid of it. You know magic, right? Get rid of it.
I can't get rid of that. That's outside of what I know.
I do know how to dispel magic, but
not powerful magic like that.
If it's as high level as Ghoroven's saying, then might be out of my elements.
I
could try.
I let go of Ghoroven and back up a little bit, and I'm like pointing at everybody.
Sure.
And I'm saying, I am no man's puppet. I left that long ago. Who's in on it? Which one of you are in on it? And I start pointing at everybody.
Tripp wouldn't be in the original spot. He would you would see him fixing the table back up and putting stuff back on it.
You see Pevrin move over to the table, and he's trying to reassemble it the way that Zokar had it.
Look, I get that you don't like this, and I don't like it either. I don't like when people put magic on me that I don't know about, and they don't tell me. And I even agree that, yeah, he may have done it to protect us, but I think he mostly did it to make us tools, to use us. But it is something that we can use, and I think if you get rid of that, you might as well just leave the town, because you're not going to be any use anyway if you can't see what's coming at you.
Good. I would love to leave this godforsaken town. It stinks of Nadal. I can see it. I can sense it. I left this all behind. And now you're telling me I'm bound to it somehow.
Seems to me like you're chasing it. You didn't leave it behind. I think you're chasing it down, looking for something, for revenge. To put to rest those who cause you pain.
Now, Ghoroven he was older than Petros. Not by a lot, by maybe a decade. And Petros was old, for all intents and purposes. Petros was in his 60s. This man, older still. Very tall, though, very stolid by design. He brushes himself off and tries to fix his robes. And he just waits. He's watching. He's watching this all unfurl before him.
Eli, you don't know a goddamn thing about me.
I know what you told me. I know what I've seen.
You don't know shit.
Right.
You don't know anything. You're blind. You're a blind man, follows a blind god, and you're all in on this. I'm sick of this.
Settle down.
No, I won't settle down.
Look,
Do
I
you
don't
know
believe
what
in
this
any
is?
God, so
Have you seen
take
this
me out of that
before?
part.
I don't. My entire life? My entire childhood? Have I seen this before? Every goddamn day, and that's why I got out. This was supposed to be an easy mark. This was an easy mark, and that old man, he knew. He always knew. He was too clever by half.
What do you mean by easy mark? Friend?
Friend? Is that what we are? Is that all what we are? Friends? Friends who threaten each other? Talk madness to a god we can't see? He's pointing at Eli. Friends? We just met. Okay? We're here for money. We're not here for friendship.
Oz looks sad.
You might be here for money. That doesn't mean the rest of us are.
For your buddy Petros, who clearly used me? Is that your friend?
Don't you want to know why?
No.
No, lad. You just said that we're being used, but you also said that we're all in on it. So you better fucking decide which side you're gonna play here.
Well, and there's also, he's here for a mark, which he deflected from. So just, while we're at
Rye
it.
is like super enraged right now. And
I get we're not friends, but we're not enemies. And now we are gathered by circumstance. So maybe we look at that. Or you can continue just to yell. I mean, that's entertaining.
He's not wrong.
I hear you.
It's like watching
But
a
you
child
ain't
throw a
doing
tantrum.
anything. So let's go somewhere.
Tripp walks over to Oz after hearing or after seeing Oz's expression change. And he
Oz kind of deflates and like kind of backs up behind the crowd. He's kind of like getting out of the circle type of vibe.
Yeah, he walks. Tripp walks over to him. For what it's worth, I know I'm not the most behaved, but I mean, I consider you a friend since you've helped me as much as you have already.
I was kind of like half grin, half smiles, and then just kind of keeps looking on at the rest of them and says,
I watched you
Thank you.
almost kill a child. I don't trust you. Not even a little bit.
That child would be dead if it wasn't for Temerity. He
And
basically did kill the child.
And we would all be dead.
Looks at you a little bit more suspicious now, because Oz wasn't there during that. He's been told that you killed this child, but he doesn't know like exactly what happened. So he's kind of like, all right.
I honestly, the way Tripp was trying to kill whatever or whoever that was at the time, he could have done that to any of us at any time over the last few days, and we would have been powerless to stop it. So I don't know. I trust him as much as I can trust anyone in that
think there's a
corporeal
difference.
state.
I think there's a difference between a harmless child and one of us who could defend ourselves. It's attacking someone weaker than yourself.
Oh, I don't
even
disagree.
More disgusting.
That there was some errors of judgment there on an epic scale. But for our purposes here, figuring out what's going on, who are these, one of these people possessed, I think, right? Hold on, do we know enough about that? He called himself the Lopper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the, and I'll point at the briefcases, one of these criminals possessed Rye. Another, another Torvin and I saw and possessed Torvin. What's next?
We're all fools. We're all puppets and fools.
This is exactly what they want, is having us at each other's throats so
Tell
that they
me.
can divide us.
You, the one they call Rye. You said you were from Nidal. Would you care to express your tale of how you encountered Petros and Nidal? Regale us, please.
Guess it doesn't matter now. I met the old man in the streets. It was normal play. Watch a noble go through the streets. Sure, you can mug him, you can take his money, but the real money comes when you befriend him. So you set him up. He was a mark. He was out of place. He didn't belong there, and he looked rich. And where I come from, money talks. So we conned him. It's a pretty simple con. I had a buddy of mine walk up and try to pretend to mug him. And then I would step in, the hero, and save him. Showered in accolades and hopefully rewards. You build a friendship, and you can milk the cow every time they visit. Every time you can tell them how, oh, don't you remember when I saved your life? Our friendship was on false pretenses. I always assumed the old man never caught on. Now I'm not so sure. And he's looking at his feet. I did come to respect the man over the years that I knew him. I could never tell him exactly how I tricked him. But that's what you do in the doll. That's what you do to survive. And any of you would have done it in my situation.
Well, allow me to shed a new light on this experience. He was in my study at the time. He explained how he met a common mugger from Nidal, who had arranged for his purse to loosen. He said that there was something more to this figure, that he wished to keep tabs. I don't know which of you fell under whose con. He knew from the moment it occurred. He told me of this figure, rugged by design, with nothing to lose, that there was something more in them. So the wool was not necessarily pulled over his eyes. Even if he was a terrible student, he was rather quick, and his wit never let him down. Yet he still continued to cycle back, your prize cow that you continue to talk of. And I'm assuming that he never had any issues opening his purse for you to milk from.
At this, Rye is starting to recall the visits, how clever he felt, during them, how, he thought he was pulling one over on this, old man. And knowing now that he knew all along and recounting all this, Rye gets surprisingly emotional. And he actually starts to cry.
Surprises. It can take us each by as such. Each of you will find that the circumstances of which you met were not always met with honest integrity.
Oz initially goes to move forward when he sees Rye crying, but then steps back and stays in his place.
Petrus was many things, but he'd only survived as long as he had, because of the people that he had met and how tricky he had become. Eventually it catches up with us all. We all become old men or women. We lose our edge. Some of us do. All we can hope to do is find ourselves in good company, despite the horrors, travesties, and trauma we face. We employ the knowledge we've gained. And from what I can tell, there is no malice tucked into the magic weaved upon your heel. If the intent was malicious, you would have lost it by now. You would have died. But the enchanting weave over the top, quite a bit more difficult and rather expensive. Yes, I can remove it. No, I do not have the reagents for such an ability of spells. In my line of work, they call that permanency. And it is rather expensive. Roughly 10,000 gold in diamond dust was used to scriven those marks on your heels. And given that there are 5 of you, well, you would assume that the professor was not light in his pouch.
Rye is still continuing to kind of think of all, like when something happens and it completely changes the context of something you felt you understood, especially when it comes to relationships, the things that Ghoroven is saying, it not only changes Rye's perception of himself and his involvement in the relationship, but also some of Petros' actions, having known what he was doing to him, and there were some ways that he had helped him, despite that wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for him to draw this out, really,
Yeah.
So the things that he's saying are making sense to Rye, but he is visibly shaken. And he just kind of waves his hand. He's definitely not somebody who wants to appear weak or,
sure,
but this is a man who's been pushed to his brink. He's having to face, his past.
Yeah, of course.
He is, he is been through a lot, so he's just kind of waving everybody off, and he just goes and he just sits in the corner. He just like a kid, sits in the corner, knees tucked up, holds his knees, and just kind of is just sitting there, not rocking, but he is
just taking it in.
Yeah,
it's a lot to unpack.
Yes,
it changes the way that you not only look at the world, but you sort of look at yourself. There is what do they call this? When you look inward.
Self-reflect.
Yeah, but it's something akin to that. Yeah, I can't remember exactly the word, but you're reflecting initially. You're having these moments to determine the validity and the value of your actions and moves. Introspection. Thank you, Alistair. Yeah.
Yes.
Introspection. That's the word. So this is big.
Yeah, it's very big, and because also Rise notes so little kindness, the amount of guilt for treating this person, one of the few people in his life that actually treated him well, and he's dealing with an immense amount of guilt right now.
Sure.
Too.
Elendra can sense this on the air. This is very, very clearly, it's a lot for everybody to sort of take in, and the tensions are high, right? You can it's palpable. You can cut this with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
So you see this noticeable slack, kind of release in the shoulders, really sort of increasing the amount of overall droop and this bizarre Slender Man-like look of Elendra Ghoroven. He's a rather tall fella, but when his shoulders droop, he no longer looks like this statuesque figure. It looks quite literally like a sheet over a man. There's not a lot of pointed curves. The only thing that really sort of steps out as a physical feature is the branching of his nose that he always keeps very high. And then he breaks that pregnant pause. I think that there are tensions running rather high, and we should all take a load off. If you would care to as such, I invite you all back to the academy, the unfurling scroll. I have something that might take off the edge.
I'm going to nod and walk over to Rye. You're sitting down, right? On the ground?
Yes,
okay.
correct.
I'm going to offer you my hand. Do you want to get up and come with us?
Right, in this moment of introspection, Temerity offers a hand. Something that you can count on a single set of fingers. How often someone has actually done for you, legitimately.
Yeah. This is actually a pretty big moment for Rye. Oh man, God. I know I created him. It's weird, but in a weird way, I've seeing part of the fun of D&D is watching your character unfold and seeing how he, changes and it's it's interesting how the evolution of a character happens outside of yourself, you know.
Yeah.
He looks up at you, and I mean, his face is, you know, like when like little kids cry and their face get all puffy and their eyes are all red and shit. You know, he's kind of fucked up, and he kind of looks over past you to like the rest of the group. Is anybody else watching? Or are you guys kind of doing your own thing?
Tripp's probably just like looking at the ground, kind of just like taking in everything that just happened.
Oz looks sad.
I'm watching.
I'm putting on my shoes.
I'm putting on my shoes. Oh yeah, because your stuff was all wet. Like, it was hanging up on the fireplace.
It looks like Eli is Eli's watching. He's not like fucking Sauron's eyes, right? Like just panning the horizon, but Eli's always had sort of a vigilant eye in all scenarios. And even if you have never quite got along, there is this tantamount of care that comes from Eli. You may never agree, right? Agree to disagree in some scenarios, but he doesn't ever want to see anybody suffer. Unless, of course, they're clearly an evildoer, in which case, smite thee. But you can see that Eli is watching.
Yeah, everybody's suffered enough.
You ever see somebody who's like so emotional they have a hard time talking, like they breathe in when they talk almost? Like they can't say the word, like, you know, like
yeah.
Like that.
I've been that person.
Yeah, I am that person.
That's kind of what he's going. Like he's kind of like reaching out for your hand, and he's saying like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And he's just reaching your hand, and it starts to kind of like grab your hand, and then starts to kind of like squeeze your hand, you know, like almost uncomfortably. He's just like, I'm sorry.
I'll squeeze it back. And I won't pull him up until he, like, I want to make sure, like, you know, when you go to, like, yank someone up off the ground when you're at a festival, you got to make that eye contact first, right? You got to have that, like, you're ready, boom. Like, I'm waiting until he gives me that, because I'm not going to just, like, yank him up and beat him into the, you know, I'm going to wait for him to acknowledge that it's time for him. And I'm patient about it. I'm just waiting. I'll kind of give his hand, like, even though it probably hurts, give his hand to squeeze back.
Yeah.
My hand is like almost getting desperate, like, you know, like it's like trying to find something, you know, and he's looking kind of past you now at everybody, and he's kind of finding his voice a little bit. Remember, this is a man with a damaged esophagus too, so he says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And he's looking to the group past Temerity, and after he said it a few times, he looks up to Temerity and finally was able to say, I'm sorry.
Forgiven. And then I'll give him a yank. Get him up.
It's very, very quick. You said your apologies, and without even a secondary like thought reaction, Temerity, forgiven. It's very, very concise, but it's honest. And I think anybody can feel that in this situation. And she pulls you upward, dragging you to your feet. Unless, of course, you just, you know, child limb body it and noodle your way back.
No. And she pulls me up, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. As she pulls me up, though, I look at Oz specifically. And Rye's trying to pull up the most genuine sorry that he can. And it's the sorry of somebody who realizes that maybe people were trying to make connections with him, and he's maybe had a hand in his own isolation.
You were my best friend.
You know? So his sorry to Oz is somehow kind of in more reverence, especially to Oz, because Oz has Temerity as well, but Oz especially has been kind to him and friendly to him. So he walks over to Oz and puts his hand out to shake Oz's hand and says again that, you know, I'm sorry.
Oz grabs his hand. He takes a moment and kind of looks at him to see if he's like truly like sorry and sees that he is, and then shakes his hand. And you see a Pecker kind of come out and nudges you as well. And then Oz gives you a hug.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh.
Rye is so vulnerable right now. Oh.
Hesitates
Rye,
for a moment, and then he just like hugs
yeah. No, that's exactly the same reaction that Rye will have. You hesitate a moment, and it is it's the hug of a man who's never hugged. His arms sort of just like fall over you, but they don't really know what they're doing.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I'm short and very rotund.
I look over at Eli and I say, I still don't trust you. No, I'm just kidding. I do look at Eli though, as I'm like giving Oz a hug. What does Eli look like right now?
I'm smiling.
Oh, you're smiling?
It's probably the first time that he's actually kind of seen you break out of this really like almost tough guy facade. It's not really much of a facade, but you carry it for the sake of not leaving yourself vulnerable, right? So this is new for him. And like everybody has to like bear in mind, like dwarves are incredibly familial by nature, and his master and his brothers all live in the forge. And these are like they're fraternal twins, right? So you have 3 dwarven brothers, and it's a hard love, but you love to see it when it happens, right? You love to see it. So this is very akin to that. It's that tough guy, that act almost drop, and you get to see some real colors here. So yeah, it feels almost homey, right? The tension, yet that release of feelings is as close to home as it's been for Eli, is my guess.
Thanksgiving dinner. We all had our fight. Now we're gonna hug, and then we're gonna leave. We're never gonna see each other for another year, and we rinse repeat, right?
Eli's usually way more laid back and friendly and charismatic and smiley and nice to people. He's just been through some fucked up shit that he's never seen before in the past couple of days.
Fair.
With a bunch of strangers that, that he doesn't necessarily trust. So, but no, it's probably the most human that Rise ever looks to Eli, probably.
I will stop my embrace from Oz and just look at Oz and say, and I do still look a little uncomfortable, but I just say thank you. And I walk over to Eli and I just say, I'll try. Okay? Like, I'll try.
I only expect you to try your best. And that's all anyone can do.
Like, yeah. And I just kind of nod. Just in like, I don't know what to say. I'm feeling very vulnerable. I don't know how to approach you, but like, I'm going to try to make this work. All right. I'm going to try. I take a deep breath. Rye takes a deep breath and, I look over at Torvin, but I feel like, what does Torvin look like?
Torvin's probably standing. I'm guessing he put his boot back up
dressed.
on this point.
Mostly dressed.
Mostly dressed.
Yeah, we're like, in the river a little short time ago, so mostly dressed. I'm just looking at you tall folk going,
What tall folk are you talking about?
Everyone but you.
Oz, even you are taller than Torvin by like 2 feet.
I'm 3 foot. I'm just
Oh yeah, you are.
watching it all happening.
Oh yeah, he's kind of an itty bitty fella.
Yeah, you should try
Someone
fishing
I'm
him out of a
taller than.
river. It's not easy.
I nod to Torvin and very much in reverence. I really respects Torvin's skills. And Rai takes a deep breath and he just says, I'll meet you guys. I'll meet you guys at What was it?
Ghoroven
Academy.
Yes, it's called the Unfurling Scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll meet you at the academy. I need to go for a run.
All right,
As nice as it would be to have some leisure, I don't know if that's what's best for our current situation. My suggestion would be that we go and find supplies and equipment, and we head to Harrowstone as soon as we can, and try to put an end to these fucking ghosts that keep haunting us.
With y'all, I need like a good night's rest before we go hopping over to Harrowstone.
I can imagine your invisibility trick took a lot out of you.
Also, I'm real hungry.
Me too. Wait, did Ghoroven say he had information for us too?
Might. It just depends. It's the kind of thing that you ask the right questions, you might get the right answers. Zokar chimes in at this point.
He's given us a lot of stuff already.
You notice that he's actually like, Zokar has moved closer and closer to Tripp. Every chance that it feels like there is a moment to move. And he like, the father in him wants to be next to his son, but he's already explained in a very uncanny voice using a very different dialect that he is not who he says he is, that he's Tripp.
That means he's moving closer to me too, because I'm standing next to him.
Yes. Zokar chimes in at this point with, if you're hungry, well, there's still some more I made. I was expecting quite a bit of business today, and well, not so much. Mr. Ray had me run them all off for reasons, and well, someone's got to eat it. Food can't go to waste.
I agree.
I'm happy to cover any bills for the day that you might not have been able to pay or meet.
Well,
Eli, it's very good of you, lad. Thank you so much. I better go eat it just to make it all.
Oh, except for the dwarfs. I've seen him eat.
Oh, you look lad. Good man.
Oh, you know what?
I
Fine.
think
He got the
between
briefcase.
The two small people probably eat the most.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that kind of tracks
be
to
broke.
real life too.
Yeah, it does. Bottomless pits.
Tripp looks at Zokar when he says that, and he looks up. Does Hevron usually eat around this time?
There's a pause in his response before he says, well, my boy's he's a bit of a light eater. I've always impressed upon him to eat as often as you get hungry, but he said he doesn't like to run around on a full stomach. And, well, I'm of the thinking that you shouldn't be running unless you're being chased. And, well, until recently, there ain't been nothing for running from. So, I don't know.
To be fair, he could have been running from things you couldn't have seen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You're not wrong. Let me go pack those things up then. And he just walks off into the kitchen. He's very noticeably like uneasy or that made him very uncomfortable. No parent ever wants to discover that they're failing their child. And even if you didn't intend, right? Intent and perception here. It shook him noticeably.
Yeah, because I mean, I think honestly, like even given that perspective, to try and mimic his son would be even more distasteful in that regard. And then it obviously doesn't do him any good to just even talk, because he knows that it's not him. So it's kind of like it's a lose-lose situation regardless of what happens.
Sure.
But after he does that, Tripp immediately goes back into like looking back at, like, not back at the floor, but you see him lost in thought, and he kind of like starts toying with his hands, and it's like he keeps like I guess fidgeting with his wraith ability now. Like you can see him like when he puts his fingers together, then you see like over like that set of hands, another set of hands comes over it, and then he just like it's like he's trying to test to see if like he's able to extend it more and more, but like you can see like he's really lost in thought with what was happening to him.
Sure. I think anybody that's there at this point, you probably would have witnessed this entire experience. It wasn't anything that was like super secretive. Zokar, again, just for emphasis sake, when he talks, he's got one of those voices that carry. He can't help it. His voice is just that way. He speaks from the chest, right? And even when he tries to whisper, like there's no secret that he could keep in that regard. So you can tell, like when he's been shaken, plus he wears it on his face. It's a very, very visible mask. But he's disappeared off into the back. You can hear some of the clanging and banging of pots, pans, or things that are sort of like shifting around as he's packing up whatever happens to be there, making his own veritable picnic basket. Is there anything else you will need before we arrive at the unfurling scroll?
Rye's just picking up the table he flipped, embarrassed a little bit.
Sure, the only thing that seems to be sort of out of place at this point is the chair. It's sort of skittered back far enough away from the table, but the table seems to be fine. When you glance over, everything seems to be picked up. I think in that moment, even glancing around, you may remember that Tripp sort of picked it all back up.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Well, then I am off. You can enter in immediately, no knocking necessary.
I'm going to follow him out.
Okay. All right. Is anybody going to any other location? Do you guys want to see to another building, another person, or are you all heading in the direction of the unfurling scroll?
I'm going to go through my backpack that's been ruined with the Sturge attack and try to see if any of my pipes are recoverable. I know the tobacco is all gone.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Eli just wants to go to the forge. I love that.
I do. I've been waiting.
Dude, Eli is like, I know, that's so funny.
So
it's
patiently
like,
too.
I know. I don't know. I didn't realize how mean that was until you just said that. Like, Pudgy, like, it literally does come up like every game, and like something happens and he never gets to go.
I know. I followed Rye last time back to the church or whatever, and I was like, no, turn around.
Yeah, go to the forge.
Yeah, Tripp would eat light though, because he's not going to eat heavy, but he would eat something just to kind of keep Peverin's, I guess, daily cycle in tempo.
Plus, it's enjoyable for you. You've had one meal since you've been inside of his body, and you get to taste again something you've not experienced in decades. So this is an experience for you. And he's not exactly a pushover in the kitchen. His cooking style it's not very obvious to the area, but he's not afraid to spice it up. Okay.
I'm definitely getting some food. Whoever's hanging out and eating, I'm with them. And then I will make my way to whatever location is next, whether that's...
Yeah, I figured Oz would go because he's like a sorcerer and it's an academy, you know?
I'll grab some wolf balls. Like what?
He actually he brings out the food, and it's flank steak. It's all like he calls them vampire steaks.
And I'll grab one of those and
some like jaggedly tore marbled bread that he calls hag's teeth. So it's steak and bread that he's bringing out.
Bro, steak sandwiches, cut half of it, start throwing some vampire steaks in there, and we're like, boom, boom, boom.
Zokar is low-key like a dish naming like savant. Like he really like he's low-key. He's got that creativity. When I follow
Guy Fieri.
Yeah. Zokar's got a little.
He's taking us to Flavor Town.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my gosh! Now he's never gonna look any different in my head.
We're not in Harrowstone anymore. We're going to Flavor Town.
When I walk out, okay, I'm gonna fuck up these names every time. Fantasy names fuck me up, man.
Ghoroven.
Ghoroven, yes.
Yep.
I think Gore Oven, and then I'm like Ghoroven. You know. Like
yep.
Gore Oven.
Okay, I'll try to make the association. I don't know when I walk out with him, I just say, sorry about, and thank you.
We all lose our way. It's a matter of finding it again.
And at this, Rye nods and goes looking for the peach tree to grab a peach before he meets back at the academy. He invited us all back, right? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's on Rye's mind. He just wants to go grab the peach, maybe do a couple of laps around the town, and then by the time everybody's made it over to the academy, it should be good.
Sure. You're talking like 10 minutes most.
Yeah.
And you can do just that.
Do I need to go to the academy?
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessary. It's not necessary that you're there, but if you're hoping to gain any more additional information, then sure. If you wanted to break away and see to other things, then by all means. This is an open stage scenario. If you are sandboxing it, sir, go do what you want to do.
Yeah, if he said it was for leisure and stuff, and I realized that we could probably get more information, but I trust Oz to kind of like grill him pretty hard, since that's what Oz is. It's I feel like Oz has that covered, so I think my time would be best used like going and looking for equipment and supplies.
Okay.
At the forge.
At the forge.
Yeah.
Where there's fire and metal and stuff.
Okay, what about Torvin? Torvin, I know that you had some interest in going to the forge additionally. They're not gonna, that they're not gonna eat all the food. So, at least they're largely incapable of eating all the food. Even if Oz wants to put it down, you're talking like probably in the upper area of like 12 to 15 flank steak and like 3 rows of marbled bread. So
challenge accepted.
I just don't trust Oz's Becca. That's my concern.
Fair. So is that a yes? You're going to the forge, or yes, you're going to the unfurling scroll?
Oh no, I'm going to unfurling scroll.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Thank God.
Tripp would probably leave with Torvin. If not, as soon as he's finished with his food.
Hope
but
you don't
I
run
don't think
into
he would
the
necessarily
sheriff.
wait.
You said you are planning to leave with Torvin.
If they leave at the same time, yes. But if Tripp finishes before everyone else, he would just go to the scroll on his own.
Someone watch this guy. Like,
Oh, Tripp?
yeah, someone please.
Okay. Easy enough. So
Temerity,
looks like
please.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna assume he said that in character, and as Tripp leaves,
Yes.
I'll have been hanging back, like gathering some food in my hand, and I'll nod knowingly at Eli, like, oh yeah, everyone still thinks he's a total dick, and I'll just run after him. Just kind of
No more child murder, please, whether
Right.
it's accidental or not,
terrible.
or any murder. Well, we
that's
we
fair.
had rules. We set the rules down. Don't hurt anyone without us telling you to. Which
You got it.
could screw him if he's by himself and he's
You
in a
have,
bad situation.
if your screen's on camera.
Oh, I know.
I don't care. No,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
just making
fine.
sure. Just didn't want to.
I am looking for some audio here. I know that there is some. I just have to find it. You doing okay over there, Eli? AKA Cobalt.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You hanging in there?
I'm just sick. Sorry.
No, you're fine, man. No worries.
I'm having fun.
So we're going to break this away. What we're going to do here is we're going to shift the camera to follow Eli for a short time. Eli, you know that they probably have it covered. Their experience thus far has been relatively resolute in discovering any additional details, period.
They've gotten lots of information. They've successfully acquired information.
Sure. Not that it's going to be very difficult for you to be there and maybe sort of pick some things apart, but you feel pretty comfortable stepping away. You break away from the rest of the crowd, from your regular squad, and you move in the direction of the blacksmith. Do you know much about this place?
I've been told that a legendary dwarven blacksmith has always been there, and they're like renowned for it. They've been there for a long time, and that's where the forge is. And their name is Jorfa.
Jorfa.
I believe.
That is correct. Jorfa. All right. It's been pointed out to you several times. You know where the forge is. It's just inside the city circle. However, it is still sort of a protected place. Something that doesn't really get talked about much. She's very, I would say, a bit more recluse to the idea of operating with many of the outsiders. Most of her clientele is largely the people here. But you've sort of established yourself here. You even have a bit of a meandering reputation. And you make your way specifically to this place. I'm going to go ahead and switch our cams back over to this. Huzzah. Okay. Now, you find the smith. It's not exactly a difficult building to locate. There are multiple billows of darkened smoke that seem to be rising from an outward, rather poorly designed shop. Something that was probably a house that was converted into a smithy. There are multiple outside forges that seem to have actuating bellows. This design was clearly not something of a human construct, unless it was a very, very talented human construct. Upon closer inspection, it's very similar to what you would expect from your own master. Even though he hadn't transitioned to this yet. Something about immediately controlling the flow of the fire. You've probably gathered yourself as a smith. You hear movement inside. Additionally, you hear the occasional clang of hammers brought down several times. How do you enter the establishment? Do you just kick open the door? Like, surprise, motherfucker.
Well, immediately upon seeing the forge and the fire and the lights and the warmth, it will definitely remind him of home, and everything that he's grown up knowing and that he's been taught, and all of the lessons kind of like flash through his head. And he knows better than to kick down the door. So, he'll just approach cautiously and with a heavy knuckle rap a couple of times. Hello, I heard I might be able to find some equipment here, or perhaps use the forge.
Sure enough. When you enter in, it is not a particularly loud establishment, admittedly, but it's akin to home. You see a few people inside. They seem to be discussing some of the more coveted wares that don some of the walls. Handful of folks. But the homey noise that you're used to hearing, it was sort of like your waking alarm, was the sounds of the forge, hammer being brought down several times. And here, tucked behind this pretty prolifically designed forge, this very dwarven forge by nature, it's got these beautiful Torog-driven runes over the top of this anvil. This very broad, dark-skinned woman with these strong arms, rivaling that of any man that you've encountered. Scars taper down over her face, but there is some brilliant design about it, and her hair is braided back very tautly so over the top of her head. She glances over, and you see her very incredibly piercing blue eyes. She sees to you, and she nods. You can tell that she didn't quite understand. Or at least she didn't hear. Maybe it was the way that she brought down that hammer. Perhaps she was ignoring you entirely. She seems to be focusing intensely upon a broadsword. Slam comes down, slag and flash move everywhere. And she does so multiple times. Every bit of her is dwarven by nature. You cannot deny it. The broad build, the arc in the swing, there's confidence. This is a master blacksmith. Do you move closer?
He'll keep a safe distance, knowing that he doesn't want to get hit with any hot embers or anything. But and he'll quietly watch. He doesn't want to interrupt because he knows it takes a lot of focus and strength to be able to craft something properly. So he'll just wait until she takes a break or has a moment.
Sure.
And you watch and try to learn what he can, pick up what he can.
You draft some of the details from her. You manage to pick up some of the nuances that you're used to seeing. There is specificity in the way that they move, the way that they swing, the way that they twist the blade, and they seem to like bring it back and forth. She is a machine. Something that you would think that even your master would probably have some enamor from this. How long will you wait? I'm curious.
Probably like he'd probably stand there for at least an hour, I would say.
Oh, okay. So you'll just
watch.
for as long. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that
Gotta
long.
take a break eventually.
Not going to be that long. She seems to cycle back and forth between that and it looks like a very simple scythe blade is on another forge end, but she cycles back and forth, probably so for about 20 to 30 minutes before she takes a break and draws a slag of water from this water skin. She tosses it back down into an open well. Drawing her hand across brow at this point, and you see that while she wipes away the soot, you can tell that it's not entirely soot. She is naturally a dark-skinned dwarf, and it's a beauty that you've not ever encountered before. It's only at this point that you notice that tightly drawn, wound bit of hair that seems to be all braided up. You weren't sure if it was age, but her hair is white.
That's some mighty impressive smithing and strength you have there. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you, but even Master Torvin would have been pretty impressed, I think.
When you say the name of that person, her eyes actually kind of jut up to you for a moment. Where you from, boy?
I'm from Caliphus.
Ah, Caliphus. I know a few dwarves from that area. Why did you come to my town?
Here for a funeral, actually. And now I'm up to my knees in shit, trying to wade through it. Trying to fix some things around here.
You see a curl at the corner of her lip. Welcome to Ravengrow. It's beautiful and dismal, all at the same time. Why are you sticking around?
Well, seems like there's some things that need fixing around here. Thought I might be helpful. A lot of people and a lot of problems.
Every town has problems. Why this one?
I guess old acquaintance, Professor Lorimere.
Yes.
I want to say Lorimere for some reason. Professor Lorimere passed away. It's an old acquaintance of mine. Seemed to have left quite a list of problems that need fixing, and I don't know. It's just in my nature to try and help, I suppose.
The professor. Yeah, he was an odd lot. Kind, though, when many others weren't. You know, he stuck up for me when others wouldn't. They say a lot of bad things about my kind of people. I think I'm just a dwarf, but they never really called me that.
I must say, I never have quite seen a dwarf with your characteristics, but I've seen a lot of things lately that I couldn't explain.
And we're all from the same place. The Earth. Land claimed us, birthed us right up, spit us out.
That's what I was taught. Teachings of Torag. He hit his hammer on his anvil and created the earth, and the sparks that flew were the dwarves. I always thought that was some sort of metaphor, but saw the damnedest thing the other day. Saw a dwarf take a wound and looked like he was made of stone. Never seen anything like that before. You ever heard anything of anything like that?
Give me diplomacy.
Okay. I'm just making small talk. Boom, nat 20. Let's go.
Damn.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, they used to say things like that. Used to say that there were some dwarves that were actually spit up from the earth. Can't say I've ever encountered one, though. Not at least as far as I can recall. Give me a sense motive.
Okay. That one's not so good.
You've got the luck rerolls, man.
Yeah. That's better.
That's much better. You don't feel like she's being completely honest with you. The reason that you brought that up?
Well, I was just making small talk, I suppose.
Most people go to the tavern to make small talk. They don't come here to speak with a blacksmith.
Well, there were a few things that I needed or wanted to ask you, I guess. No, I had brought it up because I had never seen such a thing, and perhaps since you had some characteristics I had never seen, thought you might know something about my companion.
What do you mean, your companion?
I came into town on a merchant wagon with a dwarf named Torvin, and I saw him get stuck by a sturge.
Perception.
Okay. Roll it. This will be my second one.
Oh,
third one. Yay.
You know what? I'm gonna attempt to hide that. It's not a great thing for me. Damn it, close. Close. Okay, you know, if I want to use one of my luck rolls, fuck that.
Damn it! That's what it's like, Bob.
Fuck that, I'll use another one. I'm gonna do it again. I got 5. I'm gonna use them.
Oh no. Is that even or odd?
That's even or odd.
Oh my gosh.
Even or odd in your favor?
Even.
The most ultimate of evens.
Damn it.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Look, she
Is Bub going to use them all? That's the question. Because he did that with me once.
She falls in love with you.
Just kept
Jeez, no. She turns around when you say that name, Torvin. She turns around and she seems to be fidgeting with something before she reaches back down and grabs the forging hammer. Oh yeah? I think I've heard of that name before. I know a Torvin, or I might have known a Torvin.
Oh, you know him?
Oh, you know. Dwarves have a lot of similar names. Did you get a last name by chance?
I didn't get a last name, but he'll go ahead and describe him, 3 foot, smokes a pipe, lots of different tobacco.
He's described half of the dwarven race.
Maybe brought in the Mosswater Marauder at some point, helped capture him as well.
Can't say I know. Do you have any markings, any burns? You know that Torvin has a pretty large facial tattoo,
right?
Yeah. You don't know how old it is, but you know that he's had it for a while.
I think this Torvin's kind of hard to miss. He's got a a rather obvious face tattoo. It'll describe what it looks like.
When you start ushering out this description, she turns around at this point and she walks over to basically like the table between you guys, the desk, and it's where she would lay out wares typically. And at this point, she drops the blacksmith's hammer on the desk and she's, all right, what are you doing here exactly? Why are you bringing up Torvin? What's the point?
I was just making small talk until you seemed interested. I was just hoping I could maybe look over your wares and perhaps use your forge, because we're going to be going to Harrowstone soon and we need all the help we can get.
She points with a blacksmith's hammer. We have outdoor forges there. They come at a rental fee if you need to use it yourself, just in case you have your own skills.
That'd be fine. I can tell that you seem upset. Did I do something to offend you? It's not usually.
No, No, you didn't. Look, and she kind of leans in at this point, so none of the others. And she leans over the table. Some things we're just trying to run from. People don't come here to this town. Okay? This is why I've stayed here. And at this point, when she turns, you can see some of the firelight sort of flicker up, and you can see on her face, she has a similar tattoo. But it's dark. It's harder to see. It's burned into the skin. Where Torvin's was inked in, this is burned. It's scarred on her face.
Was there some reason that I should be careful or not trust this person? Look, I
think
if he
I
makes
don't think you have anything.
uncomfortable-
I don't think you have anything to worry about from them. I think I have quite a bit more to worry about. In fact, I think for the sake of this, today, boys, we're done. We're shutting shop early. What'd you say your name was? And she looks to you, Eli.
My name is Eli. Eli Torvin.
Rye. My name is Mr. Rye.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when she hears your last name, she stops for a minute. It's interesting. Thanks for the heads up, Eli. But shop is closed today. Boys, we're shutting up shop. It's done. I'm just not feeling it. And she kind of she whisks the hammer over, end over end. It spins a few times before landing betwixt a series of other hammers. Even then, that there was skill in even that toss. Outside of the forge, she would be a monster on the field. She's not very short, right? She's probably 4'2", 4'3". That's rather tall for a dwarf. Additionally, she is easily twice the size of Torvin, just in sheer width. Her arms are as big as Torvin's waist. So she's a field menace. Not someone you'd want to get into a tussle with. But she ushers everybody out. Go on! Go on! I'm done for the day. Do you leave, or do you just kind of sit there
Well, I meant no offense. Seems I've done something to upset you. Perhaps I should go discuss it with my companion and come back later. And then I'll head towards the door.
Wait a minute. Wait. When you say that you're going to discuss it with your companion, can you not? Can you not? If you would just ask him what this means. Ask him what this, and she points to the markings on her face. Don't even say why or how you figured this out. Just ask him what this means. Give me a sense motive. Eli, you may not be keen on picking up many of the greater details of what's happening here or what you might be displaying, but you have the keenest sense of determining that she's racked with guilt. Just guilt.
Look, if there's something I can do to help or to put your mind at ease, then that's what I'm here to do. But I can't read minds. I can't fix what I don't know is broken.
Torvin won't go away until you recover the 5 kings. When you can recover the mountain, then he'll go back to rest in the stone. Until then, they have 2 jobs. They're sentinels. 2 jobs. To retrieve the mountain and to hunt those that abandoned it. Now leave.
I guess Eli will leave.
Okay.
He kind of understands that. I mean, it's pretty fucked up and specific almost. Yeah. Fuck. Okay. Damn, I should have got my goodies before I brought up Torvin.
I mean, you still technically can. There's nothing stopping you from utilizing the outdoor forge.
Yeah, the outdoor. Yeah,
I mean, if you want, you can technically just leave money on the table and she'll get it. You're just renting it. There's mundane tools. It's a mundane forge. It's just all automated to run at a certain temperature.
I have crafting tools as well with me.
Okay.
Yeah, so he'll just quietly put the rental fee on the table and step outside to use the forge there. He was hoping he could look at her wares, but she seems pretty miffed right now.
Not entirely wrong. Just be grateful that you didn't bring Torvin.
Yeah.
That close. That close.
Would have died.
Would have been messy.
So out of character.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Ask
Torvin. Okay, so Torvin is a sentinel?
Just this dwarf, you know.
He's just a dwarf, you know, as far as you know.
Yes.
She referred to them as sentinels.
And what did she say that they're either
he
like
needs
hunting down traitors or what?
People who left without permission, which I'm guessing is her. And then he needed to get the 5 kings back to the mountain before he could rest.
Which that can be discovered and figured out through Eli. Eli can ask those questions, but she said that his 2 purposes was to recover the 5 kings and to hunt deserters and defectors.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there are 5 dwarven kings in the lore that lived in the mountain.
Oh. Interesting.
But she's not wrong. The people come to this town for 2 reasons. Either they're born here or they're running from something. And a lot of people are that way. Hell, Petros. Petros wasn't born here. He came here. But still to be determined, still to figure out. The camera's going to pan. At this point, we've had about a half an hour lapse. The rest of you have gathered, Raya included, at the unfurling scroll. You have decided to say, that Eli has gone off to see the Forge Master. And that's fine. This means that Elendru will offer you an opportunity to see his tutelage area, right? To see his teaching floor. And when you enter into the establishment, it's one of the finer kept buildings here. I'm not really entirely sure what its purpose was, but it's rather large. It's an open floor plan with a center beam post that is probably like a 4x4. It looks like this place was built around a tree, and the tree was carved in such a way that it holds this structure stable. But there are desks that are spread in various places. There are about 10 of them. Each of them have a variety of teaching instruments, like an abacus. Some of them have like small bags or pouches that contain various powders or stones. A few of them seem to have these books, these very, very large. We're not talking about like novellas here. We're talking like Bible-esque books that are sprawled out, various bits of canvas that have been drawn upon. This is like a private teaching studio, and many of these desks, while not in use immediately, are still covered in various teaching supplies. There is obviously like a headmaster's desk, and behind that there appears to be a door. You didn't see another door on the building. You're not entirely sure what it means, but it didn't look like it was a multi-layered series of rooms. This is just an open floor plan. So, he's gone in and he started messing with some of his own things, tending to some paperwork, trying to straighten it out. You hear the tip, tip, tip of the papers sort of like coming together before he lies them back down on his desk and pressing away. Any dust, lint, or debris upon his desk, you see some sand and some other powders sort of fly off the edge before he welcomes you each into the unfurling scroll.
I'll like excitedly kind of look around and probably touch things, as Oz does.
Can I get perceptions, please, from everyone that's here?
Sure.
Tripp included.
11. Ow. Ooh, you know what? I can
twinsies.
You guys do have the luck
22.
rerolls, yes. 20 is pretty
Thank
good.
you for the luck reroll.
Dude, this is like the first character I've ever made that doesn't have perception because I'm always playing like druids.
Oh, Temerity. We're gonna do we see
I
another
have
one?
a high perception, but for some reason I rolled really bad.
I'm gonna
Okay.
do, so that's one.
Yep.
I'll do another
25.
one.
Yeah. Go for it. Roll it up. That's
Yeah,
okay.
that's
you guys,
how you do it.
Torvin and I all often see the same thing, so it makes sense.
You guys, I mean, short of it looks like Tripp and Rye are probably gonna have the hardest time seeing all of these things. But that's okay. The rest of you can capture this information. There are a slew of wands that are scattered about this teaching area. Some of them are in various shape, but you have no doubt that they're wands just purely by design. The type of wood grain that they're made from, the vessel at the end that seems to be designed either pyramid shape and form or like it's a penwick at the tip. Additionally, there are hundreds of varied reagents. You think that it's probably like tapers, prismatic in nature. There is like scarab hide. You're talking like basic reagents for spellcasting. Some very, very simple stuff. While this place is not nearly as decorated in the sheer amount of books that you would see in the Ellohime residence, it has quite a few, and many of them are in significantly better condition, leather bound, and it smells that way, like they're being treated. Whatever oil he happens to use is keeping them very, very keenly taken care of. If you rolled a 25 or greater, you note that there is a single book that stands out. It stands out as it's on his desk. And this is something that would be challenging for the normal person to pick up, unless, of course, you are keen with languages. Additionally, if you might find something of similar feature that you may have already gotten. There is a manual, and it is in Old Varisian. is a flesh golem manual.
Do we see that? Is it evident that that's what it is without knowing that language?
Yes, just the series of words. Golem itself is not something that varies so wildly amidst your series of like languages and dialects. Flesh is also something that you can liken it to some either like Osirian or older Galandrian.
Ooh, so this is similar to the Brass Scarab purple book that we have.
Close.
Like the same language.
Yes.
Lovely. I think he's into this shit
I'll-
too, man.
I'll point at the book and look around to see if anyone else other than me sees it.
Oh yeah, Oz sees it.
Torvin
Raising an eyebrow.
catches it well.
I'm a little sweaty and taking it all in. I'm not really. I'm just kind of like.
Thank you. That was the first like authentic laugh I've had in days, sir. That's like, does anybody else know this book? It's like, I'm fucking sweaty, man.
Like sweaty.
Oh, man.
I'm not paying attention. I'm kind of breathing heavy. I'm just kind of like, this place is crazy.
I'm sweaty, knees weak, Zokar spaghetti. No.
Zokar spaghetti.
Would it be called spaghetti though? Like I feel like
man.
it needs a word.
It would be like bat entrails
white
or something like that. Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Bobbing on his sweater already. Zokar's bat entrails.
Wolf
Yep.
balls are heavy.
Really with
I'm
that?
thinking of brains,
no.
'cause you could make noodles. You could make noodles look like brains, like
You can, yeah, for sure.
a zombie brain.
Ella's got the rhyme though. I think that's the key.
Perfect. Thank you guys for that. Appreciate that. So Temerity, Oz, and Torvin. Torvin and Temerity, you guys catch it about the same time, and you notice as you're both sort of looking around Oz's got that like them watchful eyes and those spirit fingers, because Oz loves knowledge at the cost of just about anything. So I imagine even though Oz caught it like half a second later, Oz is probably the first to say something about it.
I mean,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oz gonna like make his way. Oh, I mean, if I'm welcome here and I'm able to like walk around, Oz is gonna just like walk around and then walk over to the book if he can.
Okay, you do just that.
Waddle his way.
Temerity, Torvin, you witness this. Rye, super sweaty. Tripp, you are probably just taking in this area. Something that you noticed before, Tripp, is that despite walking around, you this building looked very like ordinary. It looked very, very ordinary, but something always kind of pushed you away from it. Even when you had the opportunity to be inside of Peverin, occupying the body, this building pushed you away, and you never quite gathered why. You can't help but feel as if you're really not welcome here. You kind of don't really want to be here, but at this point, Zokar has arrived with all the food. The others are here as well. You probably don't feel that comfortable alone.
Yeah. Tripp will kind of like hold himself like he's like cold or something akin to that, but yeah, he would shuffle closer to like Temerity or even Eli at this point. Oh no, Eli's not there, so then yeah, Temerity.
I love how much so Tripp is looking for like literally any light of protection at all, and everyone's like, "Oh, fuck off, weirdo! You fucking killed a kid."
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, we were just warming up to him.
Yeah, right?
He was just starting to prove himself, and then he backtracked like 20 feet.
No, I got KS by Temerity.
Oh,
I'm just not sure about the whole situation because, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
he
guess
would,
fair.
He would shuffle closer to Temerity, or if Torvin should be there too, right?
I am.
Then yeah, it would be to one of them, depending on who's closer.
You got it. Pick. Tell me who would you instinctively move up next to, in your opinion?
I would say probably at this point right now, Torvin.
Okay.
He's probably been the least apprehensive around.
Sure. Got it. So you move up nearest Torvin.
I've only defended you a bunch of times, but fair. You know, whatever. Okay.
I'm just biding my time. That's all. Go on.
Literally said you were going to smite me like twice already. Innocent ghosts over here just trying to live his life, and you're just
I think
like...
Oz is the only one who hasn't said he was going to kill him, but then
True.
now everyone's telling him that this guy killed a child, and that doesn't bode well for Oz necessarily.
Almost
If the
killed a child.
did something terrible.
Almost killed a child. Yes.
Well, they're telling me that the child would be dead if Temerity didn't save them.
Yeah, had it not been for Temerity, there would be a dead child.
Likely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd already basically planned this kid's funeral.
Yeah,
Lord.
he shuffles near Torvin, and just kind of leans near him.
Okay.
Master Torvin, this place feels a little off.
Yeah. Never been to a school before, lad.
That I don't know, but
It's just books. It's just books. You can read the books.
You see, like, as he's saying this, he's not meeting your gaze at all. He's like looking around, like he's trying to find whatever's like causing this like this off tilting like vibe that he's getting, but like he keeps looking around. No.
Is it the chalk? The chalk dust gets in your nose.
No, it's. I can't tell. I just feel like I'm not supposed to be here. And like he keeps looking around, and like he like cradles himself again.
Have you ever thought that's accurate?
Not.
It might be a thing you have to work with.
Possibly, but it's almost maddening to have this constant feeling around. At least here. And he keeps like shifting his eyes, like he's trying to like catch something.
I'm looking around as well now, trying to find something. I have no idea what I'm looking for.
Nothing stands out to you, and I mean, more so than what you've already discovered. Oz at this point is shifted unreasonably close to the desk. Temerity, you also witnessed this. All of you can see, right? Like you can see Tripp has shifted over to Torvin, and Torvin is being very candid, rather loud about it. Elender chimes in at this point. It's because this place is warded. It's warded for protection against many a thing, yourself included. I added an exception to the ward for you on this time.
Was it the same as the...
Oh, for him! I thought you were talking about dwarves. No, I understand. Okay.
I'm not at all worried about dwarves.
Oh, you should. Thank you. Yeah.
Were you the one that put the wards on the documents then? To keep the others away?
No, that was not me. It was handled by another. Excuse me. Small goblin. I can't say that I've quite caught your name.
They call me Oz.
Oz. Very good. Oz.
Oz has his hand like
Please,
on the desk.
do me a favor and don't touch my things.
Which things in particular are yours?
Do you see that wall there?
Turns to look at the wall.
And this one here, the one behind me and opposite such. Everything in between this space is mine.
Well, I kind of have to stand on the floor. I don't really have a levitate ability or anything like that.
We're merely not trying hard enough.
Look down at the floor, like.
Oz! Concentrate! You can levitate!
Oz is going to concentrate and think that he can levitate.
I'm gonna look at Torvin. Do you think he can really do it?
I had no idea. Thank you! Mm.
I mean, focus!
Everybody's like wingman, like, you can do it!
I don't have a levitate ability.
Let's
He's
see.
concentrating really hard.
Are there like just like baubles and stuff around? And, like,
Yes.
tables?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Red's just kind of like, he's kind of listening and walking around, kind of catching his breath, and he's just starts kind of picking up just kind of random baubles and looking at them and stuff. He's
Roll a
kinda,
d20 for me.
Sure.
Wish I could lift them. I wish I had that spell.
Okay.
Just something like a bored person would do, like
Okay.
idle
Sure.
hands.
All right.
Yeah.
I got you. You Okay. All right. You reach down and you find something fairly mesmerizing just to look at. It's an orb. Not like a crystal ball, not like a bouncy ball. It's probably about the size of a skee ball. It could fit into your hand, and it's glass. It's a glass orb. But when you touch it, it kind of comes to life. There's something that seems to be moving. Liquid seems to kind of slosh around internal, but you swear that you see lightning. You notice cloud seem to pool up in the top of this like a condensation. And when you turn it, the lightning becomes significantly more vicious, and you feel the quake of something shaking every time that flash occurs. Alendru says, "Wait, pause, stop there. Be gentle. Be very gentle. Just
What do I
place
do?
it down."
I was gonna say, if he can touch stuff and I can't touch stuff, what?
I'm like slowly setting it down. I thought originally it was flubber, but now it is storm infused flubber.
Tripp throws his daggers at it. No, I'm just kidding.
Good God.
I set it back on the table and I just put my hands up and like take a step back.
You don't ever want to find yourself in a situation where those break. That is a storm orb. That will cause a catastrophe.
Why do you have it just sitting out here if it's going to cause a catastrophe? That kind of stuff should be hidden inside of like a vault or something.
You have to teach of disasters, and some things cannot merely be seen just by peering into a book.
Right, fair enough.
And it's always under my watchful eye.
Well, I mean, he picked it up, so almost always?
Almost always, this place tends to be for children, and they're, from what I've learned, quite a bit more keen on listening. Stop touching my desk! Looks back down to you, Oz.
I didn't touch it.
You thought it.
Just
You see Tripp with his head on the desk. He just slowly puts it down.
look, I have questions. First of all, why you have a manual about flesh golems, and then secondarily, why I can't touch anything. Isn't this school? I feel like children need to learn through like seeing things and reading books. What's the point of having all these books if no one can touch them?
This right here is my personal study. Things that I am taking in upon myself. See, this is how tutelage works. You must imbibe the knowledge so that you may then vomit it out to the youths or to anyone
I'm
attempting
here
to learn.
Imbibe, so if there's anything that I can imbibe, I will gladly do so.
Oz will walk really close to the bookshelf and he's just like reading like the titles. Not touching. He's just looking.
You're just like this close each time, like
I'm
not touching it.
anything. Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, the whole way. He's noticeably uncomfortable by this. And you can sense his tensions are rising. You probably even Temerity, you probably even hear him say, "This may have been a mistake. Please, come this way. You needed the edge away. And yes, to answer your question, yes, that is a manual of Flesh Golem."
Why do you have it?
Oh, yes.
Why does one have anything, especially a book?
To read it?
There we go. We've all come to the same answer.
Actually, I just want to buy one of the orbs. Can you purchase them? I'd like 6.
I too would. Did you say 6?
Yes.
He pauses. Not what I thought you said, but no, you cannot rightly purchase them.
What if you drop them all at the same time, though?
Come downstairs immediately. Do not touch anything else.
Okay.
I wasn't touching anything.
He turns at this point, and he touches the door. That seems to be no such thing as a handle on this. You hear him mutter something under his breath. There's a quick flash. Like we're talking, if you blinked, you missed it. And it surrounds the door. And as fast as it was there, it's gone. You hear this unlock on the door, and it sort of swings, and he grabs it as such, peeling it back. This way, please. We retire into the basement. Come on now.
I go. Where I goes.
As they start walking down, he stops at the professor. I do have a question. You said that this place was warned against my kind, correct? But you made an exception for me.
Yes, this time.
Would it be possible to keep Pevrin here then?
Let's hear the story of what it is that you're going through, and I will determine as such.
Well, he draws things like me to him, and when I was expelled from his body the first time, I noticed there was a lot of, things like myself trying to get to him. So at the least for the time being, while they're trying to fix this issue, maybe they can keep Pevrin here, and I won't be a problem for them.
Okay. Well, let's talk more in the basement. Come with me. At this point, he sort of breaks in line, and he steps away with you, Tripp. He's keeping you close so as to answer your questions. Yeah. He doesn't see the Wraith, right? Like that's not what he sees a boy, and that's what he's entertaining. Eli, if you wanted to, this is your opportunity. If you wanted to find yourself entering into the unfurling scroll, this is when you can.
Yeah. Do I get to the forge? I wanted to make a little something first.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right.
Yep.
We can go through with those rolls. How long did you want to spend? What are you trying to make?
I wanted to make a an eye patch to cut, not to permanently cover my eye.
Sure.
But just to kind of cover the runes of another god on my eye.
Okay.
So it would it'd be really simple. It'd just be like leather, and then 3 circles, and then 2 of them would fit like this, and then another one I could slide out, so I could remove the eyepiece, so I could still see. If I was going to go into a dungeon, I would pull it out, and I'd still be able to see.
Gotcha.
But then it would have a hammer on the eyepiece for Torag.
Gotcha.
So
all right.
Yeah.
So then you can start making any of the metal pieces. The forge it's not a leather crafting station, so you would need to find someone to sort of make that bit for you. But yeah, this is easy enough. There's a lot of scrap in the area that you can utilize, unless you have something of your own that you'd like to use as well.
Scrap is fine. It doesn't need to be fancy.
Sure.
I basically want something to cover up the pharasma and then to represent Torag. That's easy enough to just
strip away
if I'm in a battle or something, so it doesn't hinder me.
I gotcha. Go ahead and give me a crafting roll.
Alrighty.
This is going to take a little bit of time, not a ton amount, but you've got to basically snip away the excess. That's pretty good. You can snip away the excess of the metal, and you immediately start to heating this. You don't have to forge this down into such a way that you're crafting a broadsword, right? Like, you are quite literally taking scrap. You are getting it hot enough that you can scissor snip the excess away, basically forging a monocle or a glasses piece. And it takes you no time. You're talking like probably 5 minutes to dig out a piece that is sizable, probably another 5 minutes to heat it up to a rough enough edge. This is just brass as far as you can see. And you snip it down and you hammer it into place several times. You know that it's going to take some sanding, which there's not really like a immediate whetstone. You have your own, of course, if you'd like to do that, but you can sand this down still. You will need to find a leather crafter or someone. You might be able to go to like... I
think Oz can maybe...
Oh, that's right. Oz can do that.
Well.
Oz is has some experience sewing.
And I've seen Oz make stuff for Pecker, so I would know.
Yes, you can do that. If you wanted to go to like the general store, the Raven Grove does have a general store. It's actually just called Raven Grove General Store. And you can seek them out. If you guys have anything that you wanted to buy, like mundane goods, adventuring gear, tools, skill kits, that sort of thing, that's the place to go. The Raven Grove General Store has all of that stuff. So
yeah, and that's all I wanted to do, and yeah, I didn't think it would take long. So after I basically prime my 3 like metal disc pieces and try to chisel in like a little bit of like a hammer kind of marking, then I would head to the academy and try to meet up with everybody else. Yeah.
Okay. I'm curious. Have you mentioned your master's name at all outside of Jorfa? You mentioned him here.
No, I don't believe so.
Gotcha. Okay. I was curious because you noted that Jorfa was aware of the name of your master, but significantly more aware of Torvin's name. Additionally, Torvin is also a dwarf. The likelihood of him knowing your master, while maybe slender, the world may be very small. Worth noting. So, this will, like I said, it'll take about 20 or so minutes operating into the forge. You can't really expedite the process. You're going as fast as you possibly can. And it fits its necessity. It squares up right over the spot. It would just take you just enough time to make sure that either Oz or another person can make this for you. So 20 minutes from now, you'll make it over in this direction. And for the sake of expedition here, we're just going to assume that most of us wander downstairs. If you have anything that you wanted to do upstairs before, Alendru is occupying Tripp. Tripp is downstairs. Rye, you said you wanted to go down before them, right?
Yeah, because Rye's done fucking with anything here.
Got it. So Rye, Alendru will go next, leading with Tripp. He doesn't really have anything to worry about here, because it's warded. At least as far as he's concerned, it's warded, and he's extended the invitation to each of you. So, if there's anything you wanted to do before you head downstairs, feel free to say so. Temerity or Oz or Torvin?
No, I'm fine. I'm mostly just wondering.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna not touch anything, but like get real close to things and look at them.
Okay. Okay. What things are you getting close to?
Is there anything around the desk near that book?
You would notice that as you got closer, there is an inscription under the flesh golem. It's a name.
What's the name?
It says that this book is property of one MargaretKrohn of Lepidstadt.
Can you spell that?
That's who we're supposed to be delivering other books to, I think.
Oh, that's right. It's in here. Hold on. I have it written down.
Still hauling around that purple book with me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. 3 of the tomes go to them.
MargaretKrohn of Lepidstadt University. Yes.
Is Ghoroven still in the room?
No, he's not.
Okay. I'm gonna flip the book open.
When you flip the book open, When you flip the book open, you're immediately met with a warning inside of the book. Additionally, there is a request for return, reward upon return.
I'm gonna flip it closed and pick it up.
That's weird.
Do you just feel it in your hand, or are you like?
No, I'm not gonna like heist it, but is Ghoroven like within earshot, or like could I ask him like, hey,
Ghoroven
is
not in well, I mean, you could yell down. He's just down the stairs as far as you can tell.
I'm gonna hold on to it, obviously. Like I'm not gonna put it anywhere like where I could forget it. Like underneath my arm.
Okay, all right.
Right, like I'm just gonna hold on to it, right? Like
I'm curious, does Oz say anything?
Oz gasps audibly when you touch it, and it's like, because he's expecting, and then he like looks around, like he's looking to see if someone's off.
I was waiting on Oz, like, I fucking steal everything.
I mean,
wait, I can do that?
Oz is not opposed to stealing stuff. And
Oz
like,
has just learned that they can steal everything now. But
when you take it, he's like, do you think he noticed?
I don't know, but I'm gonna tell him. I'm not stealing it. It's not his. And I'll show Oz, like, tilt the book down and show him. Don't worry,
Who
friend.
do we have to bring the other things to?
Yes, it is. So we might be able to get some information from him about this guy.
So is this the book that I saw, the Varasian book, or is this a different book?
Yeah, this is the same book.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else on the desk?
I mean, there's some implements, studies. It looks like he has like some sort of a small kinetic device that he plays around with. It would be like the equivalent of a vintage fidget spinner, but it seems to be very rudimentary.
Get away from those things.
Sometimes you just got to do the mundane.
So many people gave me those. Like I had like 20 of them at one point, and I don't. I'm like,
yeah.
Why? What is the purpose?
Fidget with them.
A fidget, like a fidget spinner, or like a kinetic machine?
The fidget spinner.
Gotcha.
I mean,
they're kind of fun.
One on each finger.
Someone gave me a really good one, and I feel like once I got that, I was like, oh no, and now I get it.
Yeah, they've got some pretty sick ones now, man.
I don't know what demographic of friend would have an excess of kinetic machines that they would just hand them out like
Maggie is a scholar, okay? That's what scholars give.
Someone who really found the Brookstone clearance sale very compelling.
It said you can buy 30 of these for $1, so I'm giving you 6 of them.
Right, Merry Christmas.
Oh God.
Oh my goodness. Is there any other book on the shelves that looks interesting to us?
I mean, a lot of it is fairly like mundane by design. Most of it looks like it's for basic teachings, stuff that you would have already read, Oz.
Okay. But he said this was his special stash of books.
One
more thing. Is
Go
there
ahead.
like a secret entrance or something in this room? Because like that is definitely interesting to us.
That door that he opened, you are 9,000,000% certain that door, that's the wall that leads outside. There is nothing on the other side. It is not a bilayered wall. You have no doubt in your mind, spatially, that if you punched through that wall, you wouldn't hit another room. You would hit the outside.
Okay.
See, this activates all of Torvin's dwarfish senses. Like, this is wrong.
Everything about this place is
Oz
wrong.
like leans into Temerity. He's like, how did he do it? How did he open the door? And now you're walking through the wall. That's not where the wall was. That goes outside.
Temerity's like, don't worry, we'll figure this all out. I was like, how? The power of crime, and just picks up the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, Rye is really starting to like this group.
Can I get in the basement?
All right. If there's nothing else of importance here.
Oh, the door will remain open until someone with some dedication will close the door. So yeah, you have nothing to worry about in that regard. When you make it downstairs, it does seem to be a little bit different of a situation. It seems a bit cozier by design. Not necessarily something that would draw immediate ire, right? This is where you believe Elendra is staying. There is a long cot that seems to be very very haughtily covered by a large amount of blankets. No pillow, however. You can see that there are, this is what sort of looks like an alchemist's lab, right? There are various reagents that are fresh boiling. You can see some things that are sort of like steeping down, dripping into various vials. You would recognize some of these. Some of this looks like the makings of healing potions. Some things aren't always so divine. Sometimes it can just come down to an alchemical science. And some of the most powerful things in magic is just the basic understanding of science. And that's how he functions. This is also an area where all of you can see that there are metals. Not as in like, ooh, there's a large amount of steel on the floor. No, there are war metals hanging in frames on the walls. Shitloads of them.
Any wars that Rye might recognize?
These are all points of recognition. None of it is like a dedication to a specific war. It's all recognition from various cities. So it's like, it would be the equivalent of finding like brass stars, medals of protection, medal of courage, that sort of thing. But they're fucking everywhere. This man is highly decorated.
Any from Nadal?
No, nothing from Nadal.
Okay.
Actually, let me look at something. Give me perception.
Uh-oh.
Sure.
They're all from the doll.
Are you happy with that?
I got 5 rerolls. I'll use one. I'll take that.
Okay. You do find something that that marks that you've seen in the doll. You find a black hand. It is a singular blue ribbon stripe, and the end of it has a stamped, sealed black hand, and it's something that you've seen in the doll before.
Where would I have seen it? Where do I recall it?
Decorates the nobles. Only a handful of them.
Oh. All right.
Elendru descends at this point with Tripp in tow, and he allows you to continue asking questions. He will take them over near an open table, essentially, and he wants to know a bit more about your situation, Tripp. He's basically giving you the floor. Right as you continue to sort of like walk along, you notice that there is what looks to be like a garden area, and it's sort of like shelved off, where it looks like he made like a makeshift wall out of like bookshelves with various baubles and reagents and things like that, some books on it that are very lazily stacked, right? Like it's a mess, but it's his mess, and he knows where everything is. But you can see that there is some sort of like private garden behind these shelves. And there is some sort of like dancing lights and orbs that are sort of hovering the area. This is that smell. That smell that you got so strongly from him previously.
Sorry, I don't mean to bring up the last game, but Cypress would have gone nuts.
Yes. Torvin probably will also go nuts.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
At this point, everybody has descended the steps, and Elendru is seeing to you, Tripp. So everybody can investigate the area if you'd like to. You can ask questions. This is... Floor is open again.
That on my way to the door with Temerity, I touch each book.
Oh, you're a fucking monster.
Just in spite. It's not there to stop me now.
When Oz does that, I'm just gonna pat him on the shoulder, kind of nod my head.
Yeah.
Like, I like
the most helpful person to us so far, and we're just like, fuck this guy.
It tracks.
He's not doing it because like he hates this person. He thinks this is he wants, like Oz would like sit here and read every book, but this guy's like hoarding knowledge. Rude.
Holding knowledge. Holding knowledge.
You're not ready for
holding
it,
and not letting me look at it. How
Withholding
rude.
it.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, a lot of these books you can see
Withholding.
are draping.
Torvin.
They're definitely draping over multiple of the desks above, and he's already said that he cares for multiple children. So you're probably guessing like he's withholding it, but he's letting someone read it.
Yeah,
But it's
but
just
not
not
me.
us.
Yeah, that's right. That's all that matters. Not Oz.
Double
Yeah, it's
rude.
not Oz. When he gets down there, he'll like look around and he's just like, "Well, these are some mighty nice digs." Because Oz recognizes that this is like clearly where someone sleeps, and this is very nice compared to where Oz sleeps.
It is a little messy, but not like what you would expect upstairs. But I think everybody's like private area is just like it's their brand of messy, right? It's where they keep their clothes. It's
Oz
where they're
understands the organized chaos.
That's exactly what he's living in. It's his organized chaos.
Is there anything that looks like prepared, like some kind of tobacco or anything, maybe lying around?
There isn't what I would say is like loose tobacco, but there is what looks to be like a staving pipe. We're looking at like a very, very long pipe for a long draw. And it looks to be like a stoking flint. Not something that is all too common amidst the poor. This is also on like a longer steel rod. You basically rotate this and it sparks for the end. So it's, think Gandalf, except not having the ability to immediately just like conjure like a tiny flame in it.
Yeah, I pick it up and I kind of fiddle with it, but I don't think I would really know what it.
Take a hit.
What it is, but I mean, I kind of surmise after a little bit of fiddling, I'm sure, and I kind of see the pipe, and I look over for Ghoroven. And,
got it.
I got it. Hey, that's Cobalt's help right there.
Yeah.
And I just say, do you have any? I don't know what the word like for favors would be like back in this time.
Favors?
Like party favors, you know? Like basically like
amenities?
Amenities?
Amenities, there you go.
How good of a host are you?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, you know, like,
oh goodness.
Yeah, I am kind of like, you know, yeah, like how comfortable should I get here, you know?
He kind of gives you like a confused eye. What is it you're asking? If you'd like to use my pipe, you may.
That's what I'm asking. Thank you. And I kind of pick it up. Is there something in it?
I mean, yeah, there's inevitably something that's going to be in the basin of it. Can I get a sense motive from you?
Sure.
Dang. Ghoroven's like, it's like my Professor Nate Dogg used to say, smoke weed every day.
Rerolling another one.
Okay.
The luck reroll. Ooh. You know, Rye does not traditionally roll well, and I should probably just take that 11, so I'm definitely going to reroll it.
Okay. It's a 4.
See, this is
oh
you know
my
what?
God. Your rerolls, you always
got,
get so green, and then you just keep getting lower.
I got
and
one
lower.
more. They're there to be used.
They're there
right?
to be used.
No,
That's right.
they are. I love it.
I'm going one more.
Live your life, Eli. You can do it.
I think that's all I have is one more.
Come on, Eli.
That pipe, bro. Hit it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll take it.
Much better.
You sense some trickery afoot.
Do I?
Yes.
He wants you to smoke it.
Like, is it like?
Yeah, he's creepy, man.
Okay,
he's taking us to
say
school, and he won't let us read a book.
When he
who
says
does
that, right? When he explains that to you, he said, you can use my pipe if you like. But you notice that there is this almost like half-cocked grin on his face.
Yeah,
dude,
but is it like a yeah,
it's a Denzel
go ahead,
Washington
or is it
training
like
day,
a
smoke this? Like,
see,
yeah.
no, see, I'm trying to. Is it like more mischievous, or is it more like malevolent? You know, am I feeling like it's an evil thing,
you get,
or is it?
You get mischievous. That's what you get from it.
At this point, I just kind of shrug. I've been through a lot today. I need to take the edge off. And yeah, I fiddle with it. You know, do I strike this thing eventually?
I mean, yeah.
I got big hands, you know, like.
I think that you do. I think that it's easy, right? It's easy for you to do so.
Okay.
You draw this down, and do you just like sample this, or are you going for the traditional long draw of the pipe?
I mean, I probably have not. I probably have not had like a pipe this size. It probably looks weird. So I will probably accidentally hit more than I intended to.
Oh my god. Here we
So
go.
I would say that I would do a long draw, but maybe not intentionally. Like
a
it would be one of those where
medium
like,
Sure.
where like
okay.
you're pulling and then you're like, oh, surprised that it's already here, and
Yeah.
you start coughing and you have essentially.
It's that it's like siphoning gasoline. You know, when you're like you got to pull real hard, then all of a sudden it's just flooding your mouth. You're like,
Yes.
oh, that's a surprise. I got you.
Yeah.
You aren't met with anything that is like too obtuse here, right? Like nothing quite strikes you like with the mischievity isn't quite hit you yet, right? Like you're not like, what the fuck is gonna happen, right? Is like my hair gonna fall out? You know, it's nothing like that. It takes a moment, and the way that it hits you is
Roll a 1d 10,000.
not
I'm just kidding.
not quite what you would expect.
Okay.
This experience is wholly different, and it surprises you. And actually, you note that it plays on your emotions. You blink, and several times that you blink, you note that your vision seems to fall into someone else's vision. And every time that you continue to do so, it's like shutter flashes, like you're witnessing someone else's sight. Do you close your eyes? Do you close your eyes?
Oh, do I? Yes. Yes. And they said, you close your eyes. I'm like, okay, I'm listening. Yeah, I close them up. I close them.
You take the bait. You run with the rabbit in this case, and your eyes fall closed. And in this moment, what you experience is certainly something. You feel this ease. You get this overall sense of comfort and care, protection. And your eyes blink even though your eyes are closed, and they open again. And you can see a woman this time circle around a tree. There's a field of what looks to be some sort of like standing wildflower that she's walking around. And she glances out off into like this almost sunset-esque experience. And when she glances back, her eyes catch yours. And you feel a flush of heat run over your face and down your person. And you see her hand come up and she waves. And she walks. The petals of the wildflower seem to kick and pull several times with each of her strides, her dress dragging behind weeds that seem to be catching on, these like cockleburrs and various things that hang on to it. But she moves to you with a smile of warmth. Right, you've experienced this sort of warmth before. It's love. It reminds you of a woman that you had briefly fallen for. And you get that sense of this person that you're watching is similarly experiencing that, and their hand reaches out. And you notice the same sort of elongated like fingers and very thin hand of Elandru. And then as it turns again, the camera spins and your sight falls as you're glancing down at the wildflowers. And it looks back up, and now you're peering from the eyes of the woman. You can hear her breaths as they grow heavier, with her moving quickly over to him, and you're looking at Elandru Ghoroven, much, much younger. Where he is now in his 70s, and here this feels almost as if he's in his late 20s, early 30s. And he's smiling, a very authentic and toothy grin. He starts to take steps. And then you feel each other's embrace. And the warmth and the protection and the care and the love. It's not something you felt in a long time. And it draws on those heartstrings. It's not something that you have felt authentically in too long. And the vision fades. Along with that puff that you had drawn. You tear open your eyes. And he's looking at you now. That mischievity that seemed to lurk over his face is no more. And now you see a very tight-lipped figure, aged, and he just gives you a curt nod. And he looks back to Tripp.
You like smoked his wife or something, dude.
Yes.
What the
Wow.
hell?
Do you like Rye? Do you come over and ask him anything? Are you like keen to discover what's occurred, or what does this look like for you here?
I think Rye's first thought is like, could it be tailored to him? You know, like, and this is his first thought. And when I look up and I see him, I'm kind of just like still processing everything. Does he look distracted with Tripp?
His eyes never really quite entirely train on Tripp. He seems to be watching everyone, specifically Oz, but you note that his eyes fall to Temerity after some time, and he realizes that Temerity is holding the book. He's most certain that Temerity isn't going to take that book, but he can't seem to sort of alleviate that focus.
I do walk up to him. Do I feel like, okay, so I lived that moment. It was in that puff. It was obviously like, you know, some sort of like, do I still feel high? Do I feel back to normal?
Like in a euphoria?
What you
right?
really feel right now? You feel
After effects.
butterflies.
Man.
Aw, that's nice.
I walk up to him and I just say, that's a dangerous trick, old man. I don't look like I'm angry. I look almost like sad, like forlorn.
Sure.
Right? Like the addiction there wouldn't be the substance, right? It would be the feeling that it provides to be able to transport back to a moment like that.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what's dangerous. You know, that's what I'm trying to get to.
Were you at all afraid?
No, I didn't feel anything like that.
That's because it is a memory. A memory of one that I treasured the time that I had with them.
Rye looks really desperate right now. Like,
You just had a weird threesome in your head.
He's like trying to not look too excited, but he can't help it. It's almost pleading.
Sure.
You know? And he just says, Could you do that for me?
Walk with me. See to my personal garden, and I might be able to help you understand. Though I must warn you, all of you, that this will be rather uncomfortable.
I'm in.
Particularly
I'm not even
being
hesitating.
uncomfortable.
That's what Oz says.
Sure.
And
Temerity,
Oz
Torvin,
is looking around.
Tripp,
the
do you guys go there?
room.
Oz is just taking it in like, what else can I touch?
Mm-hmm.
I walk in.
You're
I
muted,
walk with-
Temerity.
Yep. I go, book under my arm, just like, let's go.
Torvin? You said you walk in as well?
Yeah, I'll continue.
All right.
Tripp will stay seated.
Eli, if you'd like to, you can enter into the establishment at this point. It's
Okay.
relatively vacant. It's open. The door is still open to the basement. They can hear you moving as well. So when you move downstairs, you'll find that all of the others, sans Tripp, has moved into like what looks to be like a private staging area or corner that is cordoned off by a series of bookshelves. Tripp seems to be sitting minding his business. But when the four of you step to this rear corner where this is occurring, the dancing lights continue to drape overhead. It's sort of like almost like a dance floor. It's not anything more than like a 7x7 glorified closet, if you will. It's just like an offshoot that he seemed to cordon off with bookshelves. But in the center is what looks to be some sort of plant. It's the best way that I can say this is it is a plant. the way that it seems to be growing and sprouting flowers, it seems to be drawing up this grove of buds that seem to be like leeching offward and hanging, a weighted bud. And he seems to be very, very careful about the way that he moves up to this and touches this. I need perceptions from the four of you. This is rather difficult if you don't know what you're looking for.
Am I in here?
Of course, Temerity kills it.
Oh
Dude, I got so excited at that 26 as I thought it was me.
Oh, I would give it to you if I could.
You know what? Go ahead and reroll. I've got 3 luck rerolls. You are the most interested here. I would love to see you pick this up.
Okay. Well, I mean,
that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, I'm not gonna get better than that with my roll. So.
The earth elemental, it's got something to do with it, I think, for sure.
So Temerity, Torvin, not working for Oz, not this go. Rye. He begins to move some things around. Temerity, you're the first to notice this. Just the overall shape of this series of plants. It is a row. It's about 5.5 feet long by about 2 feet wide. And it seems to have some weird hanging growths. It looks like it's fairly straight, like it's all level at a certain area, but on either side, the left and the right of the longer sides, the horizontal sides of this, something seems to be hanging like it's drooping downward from it. And he begins to move some of these buds around. And Temerity, you're the first to identify bones inside of the plant. You recognize the bones inside of the plant.
So is it like part of the plant? Like the plant has bones? Or is it bones of somebody that used to be in the plant?
It looks like the plant was growing around whatever this was. And now that you've seen these bones and it sort of like registers, you look and it looks like a body. And those hanging features, it would be arms hanging from the shoulder's length down. But they're absolutely like covered in these plants and these buds. He notices your uncomfort.
Likes it.
I said that this would be uncomfortable.
I don't think Ray's bothered.
I'm trying to decide if I'm bothered from a Pharasman standpoint.
Oz doesn't notice, right? And no one else says anything?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
This is my late wife.
Smoked his wife.
I knew it. I knew I told you that you smoked his wife.
I legit smoked his wife.
And then you made out with her, which, as him.
She left this world from a sickness that was unkind to her body, mind, and soul. And she was taken early. And I studied the purpose of the necromantic arts. She was the only kind thing in this world. Unabashedly kind.
I'm sorry. I'm not down with this. I'm out.
That's what Oz says, and he like stands up.
Really? You're leaving?
Yeah, Oz is not down with smoking some dude's dead wife.
This is the only way that I can keep her memory alive and fresh in my mind.
Dude, Rye got no issues, and Rye's like nodding. Like,
some things are taken away from us much earlier than we wish them to be. And magic has taught me many a thing. This is how I remain sane in times of of any colored waters.
I think Rye, having smoked it and lived the memory and seen the beauty of that moment, and obviously his own selfish desires, he is totally okay with this. He's like nodding and he's like, I get it. Like, I get it. I get why you would do this. And yeah, he's just listening intently. He might even notice like Oz get up and walk away, but maybe not even hear Oz. I'm almost like mystified by this.
Is this the first time you would say that Rye has ever been interested in magic?
Yeah, for sure.
How does Temerity and Torvin, how is this striking them? Eli, you would probably have Oz like walk by you. Oz, do you say anything to Eli at all?
Oh yeah, does Oz ever shut up? No. Yeah. Oz walks in and he's like, I am not down with whatever's going on in that room.
I just got here. What's that? What's going on? I was looking for you.
He like leans in and gets close to you and he's like, I think they're about to smoke that guy's dead wife.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Tripp's just sitting there like super confused about the phrasing of that. He's like, what?
I found out something unsettling as well.
Find out.
It's about Torvin.
I know something about Torvin too.
Oh, the tea that's about to be drunk.
Oh my god.
Do you?
Secrets, my friends.
Should I go first?
Oz nods.
I talked to the blacksmith and she seemed really
I can't hear this. I'll be back.
She seemed really upset when I mentioned Torvin, and she said something about him being a sentinel from the mountains and that he's hunting people and he needs to find the 5 kings and bring them back before he can rest.
I mean, that checks out. He
Oh.
told me in my mind, he said he was born of the mountain and he's one of the original dwarves and he's made of stone, like he was born out of the stone. Like from the mountains, from the dwarves. I don't know what that means, but that's what he said. And now the giants are in that area, which I think I might know which area he's talking about because I've had some encounters with some giants. They once tried to eat me, but that's a whole other different story.
Oz,
Also,
give me,
convinced
do
that he
you
can
have,
take over the lands again.
do you have knowledge, geography at all, Oz?
Not checked.
Would you make an untrained check for me based off of something that you just heard?
Okay. I clicked it twice. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to click it twice.
That's fine. 18 is, yeah, you know of a dwarven home. They're actually, you guys were actually set to attack the dwarven home. Your clan was set to attack the dwarven home before you found out that it had been overtaken by giants. And it's called the 5 Kings Crown Mountains.
Actually, now that I just talked out loud, I'm remembering some things. Oh, that's a whole hot mess. Like the hottest potato that I've ever handled. Anyways, my family, well, there was an area where the giants were, but that's where dwarves used to live. We were set to attack them. And that place is called 5 Kings Crown Mountains. I wonder if that's where he's from.
Maybe. I've heard of some of the stories, but it's hard to tell what's real and what's just a legend. I'm not that old. I don't live as long as a dwarf, so I don't know what is literal and what is exaggerated. But all I know is Jorfa, she made everyone leave her store, and she was extremely adamant that I did not tell Torvin or bring him there.
Why?
Maybe he's looking for her.
Is she one of the 5 kings?
I don't know. She had a marking on her face just like Torvin's, but it looked like a burn instead of a tattoo.
Burn instead of a tattoo.
It looked like it was burned in, not ink.
Like branded?
Like some sort of branding or something.
Well, what did it look like? Can you draw it?
It looked just like Torvin's face. What's on his face, but instead of a tattoo, it was burned in. It was like a scar. Like a.
Torvin, give me a perception.
Maybe she's one of them.
Who was that roll for?
Torvin. Tripp, you're right there. You're right. Like,
no.
even if they're trying to be quiet and whispering,
Yeah,
like
we're trying to be
you're
quiet.
within like 5 feet away. And at this point, like Eli's kind of getting a little animated. He's like, maybe she's one of the 5 kings. Like, right? Like it's almost a conspiracy theory that it's sort of spitting at this point. Torvin,
Wouldn't she be a queen though?
you overhear Eli. You don't pick up all the greater details, but you know Eli is close. You actually heard him say her name.
Okay. And then
That's normal. He reveres me.
and then Oz is just like,
Shall we tell him?
I think we need to distract him anymore. We have enough problems to deal with. I don't maybe after we've figured out what's going on in the prison.
All right, well, you just tell me mums when you're ready to tell him. Spill the beans.
That sounds. Where have I heard that before?
Oh, I don't think you've heard it anywhere.
I thought I heard Rye say that at some point.
Meanwhile, Tripp over here just
He's literally like looking back and forth at them doing this. He's like,
I don't know why that hurt me so bad, but it did. And I felt it. Ugh.
and then Oz will like hold out his pinky.
I normally don't make deals with hobgoblins, but
How many hobgoblins have you actually talked to? Because I think you have the wrong understanding of hobgoblins. Like, we don't eat children. Okay, well, maybe some people do eat children, but I don't eat children.
I've never seen a hobgoblin, but I killed a regular goblin before. There was no talking involved.
You just killed somebody without ever talking to them? That's rude.
I live with dwarves. What do you expect? They don't like goblins or giants.
This is why they don't have their lands no more.
Torvin,
I think
you
this is
definitely
a
heard
perfect time.
giants. You definitely heard giants.
I think this is a perfect time to interject into that part of the conversation where you have, as a paladin, have immediately ostracized me for almost taking the life of someone, where you, without any context of who the person was, cut them down in cold blood for, I'm assuming, your faith.
Goblins are the enemy of my god, and I will destroy them and their
This
families.
whole god thing, I just don't get it. People be killing people because of some random person out there telling you, and you don't even see them. You don't even have proof they exist.
Oh,
I have my own proof and my faith, and that's all I need.
I'm sorry, Master
whatever
Oz, but I
keeps you
just I
sleeping
want to
at
say
night.
that given the mistake that I made, I feel so much better about myself right now, given the hindsight of what I'm learning about our man of faith. And he does that like the up and down look.
Are you sure you were an elf and not a goblin in your past life?
I don't know what I was in my past life.
All right, then. Shut your mouth, ghost.
Well, that's not very nice either.
Noted. And then he kind of just nods and he just
Sassy ass 12-year-olds. Noted.
just gives him a nod and he looks back over to Ghoroven, just waiting for him to come back.
Sure.
Ghoroven.
Not
Oz
going to be
has, like,
lectured
moments
by a
where
prisoner.
he like loves Eli, and then he has moments where he's like, "What?
Man, a shade throwing shade.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I'd have no reason to strike you down. You're the most decent goblinoid I've ever met. Although I must admit
take that as a compliment.
it does sour my mouth to say. Should I go downstairs where they're smoking people? I don't understand. Should I join
It's
them?
up to you. I don't want to be part of that. That just seems like a whole hot other mess.
Oh my god.
Are they going to try to smoke the professor?
I don't think so. I think they're going to smoke the plant that has his dead wife inside of it.
How is that helping us at all?
I don't know. But what would be really helpful is all them books that he won't let me read. There's got to be one up here that's about undead or something.
And Oz is gonna look around the room and see if there's anything like useful in the room.
Well, I mean, there's lots that's useful. It just depends upon the person. If you're looking for specifically something that might leap out at you, the only thing that leaps out at you is the locked and protected case near his bed.
Ooh. That's
Yeah,
tempting.
that's what I was expecting.
I pointed out.
Oh,
I'm like,
You just see Tripp slow nod or slow, like, yeah, he just shakes his head slowly. He's like,
What's inside? Can you see? Can you like ghost yourself inside and look at it? That's what ghosts do, right? You can like look inside the wall.
nope. Nope.
Just press your forehead to it.
Master
Push real hard.
Oz, I'm going to sit right here and I'm just going to wait.
Oz looks disappointed and just like staring at the box.
I think I'm gonna go down and try to get to the bottom of this. That man seemed rather powerful. I don't know if I would upset him, so I'd be careful with what you mess with up here. Especially if he really was the professor's master.
Fair enough. But that doesn't mean I can't try to think about what's inside the box.
Ello.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I just read in chat that you don't know what a himbo is.
Oh my god, I was Googling it so I could get him the actual dictionary definition. Himbos
I don't
are
know
amazing.
what that is either.
It is an
Okay.
attractive but unintelligent man.
More often than not.
Oh, yeah.
That me?
Okay.
Have you seen Full Metal Alchemist? I think
Yes,
everybody has.
absolutely.
Oh,
Major Armstrong is like perfect himbo status, or even Sensei's
He's always
husband.
naked.
Oh, but how dare you? He has very smart moments.
Isn't it?
Okay?
It would technically be Zap Brannigan from Futurama. Would also be considered
Sort
He
of.
could.
in a sense.
Could.
In a sense.
Or
Kronk
Kronk?
from
Kronk's
Yeah,
himbo.
Kronk.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Look,
all
I was
right.
raised to kill goblins. They took the homelands away from my dwarven friends. I can't really call them my people, but you know, in spirit.
The
All
Tick.
right.
The Tick would be a himbo.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
I
Tarzan, but when Brandon Fraser played him.
Yes.
No,
I
that was
almost
out of the
killed Oz
jungle.
immediately when I met him. Like
listen.
So
I've almost killed half of our group by now.
I hate to tell everyone this, but I sort of already am playing himbo. Rye is, I mean, not a smart man, but he would probably look better if he didn't have all his scars.
You did waste a haunt siphon, but that was
Waste?
that's fine.
What in the world?
It
Dude,
does it have a ghost in it? It just kind of fizzled and made the thing go away.
Cobalt, you left a girl to die.
I left a girl in the capable hands of a dwarven sharpshooter ranger. All right.
Oh,
He
man.
wasn't there
I-
to protect
Yeah, he
her.
wasn't there.
He was outside. We saw him outside.
yes,
just saw him
slumped on the
outside.
ground.
And we walked
Yeah,
past
looked
him.
on the ground.
I think
No.
Rye did something. All right, he didn't just struggle with doors and let kids die and stuff. You know, I don't know, man.
I didn't let
You're-
the kid die.
Cobalt,
I lay on hands
Pevrin,
the kid.
you've been like, Pevrin's in my charge. I will protect him. Dude, I'm the only one who's
Fuck
been taking
Pevrin.
care of Pevrin. Yeah. You like
I'm done with
abandoned the Pevrin story. You're like, fuck this kid. I'm the one scooping him up and throwing him into place to try to protect him. Then they're dispelling the
second
safe
I can-
spots, and I don't.
The second I can kill Tripp, I will. Don't worry. I just don't know how to get to him. I don't know how to get to him. I can't kill him in the child's body.
That's why he was hoping
That is
we don't,
literally
like,
how
he'd be the
you
only
feel
one down
about
there.
half the party.
Hey, you're under the protection of my god right now, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
So
but
By the
you
way-
got a hobgoblin, which is a natural enemy of yours, which you just convince yourself is like not worth killing yet. You know, like then Tripp, you want to smite. You've already threatened my life. I mean,
I'm okay. Though.
now you're
Temerity's
turning
cool.
on Torvin because of this
right?
new
We're
information.
pals.
You know,
You're
Torvin got
about to
possessed.
walk into the
Also,
lair of a necromancer.
I don't
to
see
be
what the problem is here.
When we
To-
were
to-
making our characters, Bub was like, "This is the oddest group of people to be with each other ever."
Oh
Like,
my
it doesn't
God.
make sense for any of you to be together
No.
because we all have like I got giant shit in my background that attracts to him. He hates me because I'm a goblin. Like it's just like this
Mhm.
triangle. You know, this love triangle is hate triangle. Hate
Yeah.
triangle.
Like
Yes,
a Venn
yes.
diagram of
Overlaid on top
triangles.
of each other like a
Growing as a
I'm
kaleidoscope.
person.
I'm growing. Dude,
I'm
is
new
no
to
one
this
else freaking
adventuring.
Dude, I am freaking out that this group right now. Dude, Eli is a paladin and he's a staircase away from walking down into basically like a necromancer light. You know, like
Yeah.
it like Oz was
I
able
have
at least to walk away.
necromancer foot. I have a foot.
I
have
know,
the
but
god of death on my eye.
I'm
and
about
I've
to
got
ask him
Torag
if he,
everywhere else.
if he didn't like dispose of her properly the first time. I'm gonna have to kill him. Like it's a terrible thing.
Dude, that's what I'm saying is there is a lot like there is like alignments here like there are conflicting things.
Look, at
Oh,
the end
yeah.
of the day,
In
Cobalt's
big
friendly fire
ways.
kill count is higher than mine. That's all that matters. Okay?
Well, then he got to go to the forge, so yeah.
I did. I'm gonna make my weird eyepiece one day if Oz helps me.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to ask Oz about that.
Oh man,
Ooh.
yeah, if we survive a fight with a necromancer, that's
While
Right.
they're
Oh,
going down
the
there,
snake.
I'm gonna go back upstairs.
Oh my gosh.
But I'll tell you what I do after.
I'm
after
afraid of
their
that.
scene.
I am so afraid of
Got a
that.
plan.
I'm here for it. But can I ask the dude, like, so when your wife passed, did you do all the original rituals to send her soul to where it should go?
She was interred by Phrasman Specials. I saw to it personally, and she was taken directly to a church.
And is she here by with the church's understanding?
This church in town, no. But where she was interred, where her soul was left to the boneyard. Yes.
I'm gonna weigh that. Can I sense motive?
Of course you can. He's telling the truth.
All right, well, I'm gonna stand up and kind of dust my hands off. And, well, I'm gonna leave you all to this. I don't, yeah, and I'm just gonna go inside because I don't. Yeah,
Temerity,
she's just.
You
So everyone just leave.
I don't want
turn.
to dig into that explanation anymore. Like, okay, we're above board. Let's go while the going's good.
Sure. You turn tail and you leave before anything else can happen here. That's gonna make you question, one, your faith, and two, this man's necessity for survival.
Exactly.
And when you turn, Oz has this look of I want to say it's like mischievous, but it's like it's being petty and sort of pissed. Eli is just like still red in the face, and Tripp's got that look of like he's like he knows some shit. He knows some shit.
He's good.
Yeah. Yep. That's yeah. Like you feel like you just walked in on something, and nobody immediately says anything about it.
That's okay.
Well, Oz
I'm
is
going upstairs.
Yeah, I'm going upstairs.
I watched Oz touch all the books on the way down. Oh, I'm following him, but not like on his heels. Kind of just like I'm gonna watch this from afar.
Okay.
Okay, Oz is sneaking.
It's sneak for me.
Are we all just on the stairs right now?
But I know, right?
I'm not. I'm still downstairs, man. Wow. This is all happening
24.
at a strange time.
Yeah.
Can I get a perception, please, Temerity? It's a lot harder to stealth. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that was so close.
No, it's so here's the problem. Here's the problem, right? Like your stealth is good, but when you're stealthing in a lit area
Oh yeah.
where
for
people
sure.
can see you, it pulls 10 right off the top of your number. So you actually you have a 13 or a 14 in your stealth.
Oh, I just like staring at Oz, just like slow, like their pace, like his pace all
Yeah,
up the
just
stairs.
sneaking up the steps. And Temerity's like,
He knows I can
just-
see him, right? It's okay. It's fine. Little buddy, let's go.
Great.
I'll trail like 15 feet behind him. Like let him think that he lost me.
okay.
He's had a rough day. I feel for him. He lost his best friend and then maybe got him back. Like it's been a day for Oz.
What? Lost his best friend?
You said that you weren't friends with him and he got sad.
Yeah,
Okay,
man, you made Hobgoblin cry. That's a
I
mortal
hugged.
sin, all right?
We
You did.
hugged.
But it was a roller coaster.
Okay, but I think the
There is
tensions
a
were
certain
high.
amount of adrenaline.
You may
There's
have
cer-
mended a heart, but you broke it in the first place.
There
all right? So
was
shame
a-
on
There's
you.
always a rip in the piece of paper.
There was a certain amount of necromancy in the air, and tensions were high. All right, and I think these are forgivable moments. I thought that's what we had.
Really? I'm not saying anything about forgiveness. I've forgiven. I said forgiven. But still, Oz went low. I saw it on his little face. Broke my little heart.
Gosh, I thought we.
I love that I don't have to say anything. It's like everyone else started giving.
Well, Rye is distracted right now and can't think about that. All right.
Rye's too busy making out with other people's wives.
Smoking the
Rye
dead
is
wife
super
weed. I
vulnerable
don't
right
know what
now
that
and
is.
being
Bro.
like, okay, have you ever seen like Harry Potter and he gets that mirror and
The
he can
mirror
like
of
look in the
Harrowstone?
mirror?
You got
yeah.
consent though.
Yeah.
He said go
Yeah,
for it.
I know, but what I'm saying is like that's what Rye is vulnerable enough to immerse himself in magic, which is super weird for him, but also it's an alluring prospect.
He's got the butterflies. He's all like, ooh, can I do it again? Yeah.
Yeah, he's not thinking about his wife though.
All this going on, you just see Tripp sitting there at the table. He's like, no, Tripp, you're a danger to everyone around you.
Oh yeah, don't think that I
No.
forgot last episode you had mentioned something about a daughter. I wrote that down in my notes. I didn't get to hear it because Oz doesn't know, but I wrote it in my notes. You were
I
having like a
thought
conversation and
nobody-
subtly slipped in there, and I wrote
Nobody
it down.
talked about it. Nobody
wrote
said
it down.
shit.
I
Nobody
wrote it
said
down, though.
shit. Okay. I thought I like snuck that by
No,
pretty good.
I'm like I literally, like I said, 20 pages of notes. I'm like,
Dude,
I'm
you
in
really
it,
are
man.
with half a glass of
Mar-
wine.
half the
Margaret,
time
straight
you
up,
guys are
uh,
wondering what I'm doing, I'm like typing notes. I'm like,
Straight up
looking at the
stenographer,
scenes
she
and I'm
just
just
replaced her
typing.
keyboard. She just like starts coding everything, and she's like, "All right, I got this."
I'm
Well,
real good
verbatim.
about my 15 pages of notes.
that was a special moment between me and Zokar.
My
And
goodness.
people shouldn't have been eavesdropping.
I don't. Oz doesn't know.
I
I'm just
know,
saying.
I know,
Don't
I'm
think that
joking.
I don't know.
I'm joking. I'm surprised. I
But
really thought people let that go.
that being said,
Nope.
there was a moment where Rye was dreaming and he started to say a few names. It was very early on. It was like episode 3, I think.
2.
Was
Where you
it
got
episode 2?
possessed
I fucking put up 3 fingers and said 2, but it was 2.
right after I was done sucking him.
2. I got 2.
Yeah. He said 2 names.
Pick number 3, my lord.
Back on February 9th.
Yeah, it was February 9th,
Yeah.
2021.
Yep. Dang, you dated.
I write the
Holy
dates
shit.
too.
Oh, I date them too.
You guys are little
episode number
detectives.
date.
Wow,
I
man.
put week 2 dash the
Yeah.
date, and then I do my
Yeah,
current
episode
to-do
2, yeah.
list, and
Look,
then I have the
chat.
log, and I'm like,
Let
Oh, I
this-
don't have a to-do list. That's smart.
Let this be a let this be a lesson to all of you out there. If you want to stay on top of your shit in games, take notes. Not only does it make you a better role player, a better performer in most situations, I'm just gonna be real, you can make your storyteller real fucking happy. And it's good to be on that side. It's good to be on that side. Lots of favors will come your way.
And don't be afraid to watch VODs if you have them. I have not, but like to do your notes, like to fill it in.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, I actually gotta watch last week's again.
I'm too lazy for notes. Well, that's unfortunate. Fix that shit,
It
man.
sounds like a you problem.
Well, that is noted.
Hold on.
We're gonna remember that.
Chameleon
Why? Because we're gonna write it down.
is
Oz.
too lazy
Oh, okay. All right.
to take notes. Sorry.
Oz, I want to know what's happening for you.
No, you like it's gonna be at the same time that they're doing their thing. I want them to do their thing first.
Yes, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. What? Let's start with Rye. Rye and Torvin, you two are remaining here with Alendru. I want to know, what is it you wanted to know? What do you want to find out? What are you asking? Or are you just listening?
I am
Yeah, go ahead.
very uncomfortable. I am being very neutral.
Okay.
And I'm making sure that Rye is okay.
Sure. He did say that it might make you uncomfortable.
Here, I
I
thought
am
Oz would be by
Being
my
uncomfortable.
side. Being uncomfortable. I mean, I just asked the same thing I asked earlier. Now that we're over here, you know,
Can you teach me that?
yeah, basically, yeah, or not even just teach, like,
Or can you do
can it
that?
be tailored? Yeah, you know, can it be tailored to him? Like, he's got this memory, right?
Mhm.
Could I smoke my memories? You know,
So he's a little apprehensive, right? Because there's certain things that you should chase in magic versus some that you don't, and particularly here in this town, necromancy is highly frowned upon. But in other places it is not, right? Like Nadal, it's basically a regular practice. It's pretty much their efforts in the way that they live. That being said, he tells you with some apprehension, yes, this can be remodeled in a way that might suit your needs or others as well. But you should know that reliving such experiences might make you vulnerable, more so than you often care to. Additionally, these memories are not mine entirely. I don't know what memory you saw, but you saw through the eyes of a woman, yes?
yes, on a hill, there was a tree.
Yes. I was very young. You will not be able to see your own memories. You would see her or his memories, whomever it is that you wish to see from. And you would need to produce their body.
At this, Rye kind of looks a little defeated, takes a deep sigh. Well, that's impossible.
Are they still alive, then?
He shakes his head.
Then you cannot find them. He says, like, there's a question hanging on the open
Yeah.
air.
Perhaps.
Do you have any fetters? Anything that this person held close to them in their life?
Oh man, he just kind of slumps over. I wish I did.
Divination is a tool of which it will help you with some efforts. You do not need a god to find them. If you can simply find anything that they had touched that mattered to them, with enough divine focus and practice, you can locate where even their corpse may be.
Oh man, it's a bunch of stuff. Rye's always been very apprehensive about magic and always stayed away from it. You know, obviously a very scary thing in Adol.
Now you should know. You should be very well aware. And he looks to both of you at this point, and he's speaking louder at this point, so anyone can hear. Necromancy is not a field of study that I specialize in. It is only one that I dabble. Evocation was a primary effort. I studied magic that was meant to take lives, not rehabilitate. Necromancy is often used poorly, and for the wrong efforts. Evocation was designed to remove life. That was my area of profession, and where which I was hired by many. And he points to all of the various metals around the room. Estates, countries, lands. I retired. There's only so many times you can take lives. You can field yourselves in a war for someone else's gain. These are my memories. And he points to each of the medals on the wall. Reasons why I promise to not deliberately take life again.
Rye is listening to him and kind of searching his own thoughts, and he's trying desperately to think of anything that could connect him somehow, and suddenly pulls up his arms, his sleeves, and he rolls them up on both arms, and he puts his arms forward like this, and he says, almost pleading, "What about scars? These from her nails, her fingers. What about scars? Can you do something with these?"
I am not entirely aware. Please, with some time and some study, I might be able to discover more. You might be a bit more akin to finding answers through less conventional terms. I open this to you, and while it is not an area that I have much knowledge in, blood magic is rather strong. I would not advise upon it. But it is there, if you happen to find a specialist. They will oftentimes need you to make a sacrifice. This is why blood magic is so potent. Not for everyone. Life is not meant to be taken so quickly.
Rye puts his arms back down. It wasn't a no, so he's got a little hope. But he also is starting to think, man, like I'm going nuts, like, because he is now contemplating the same rituals that he despised, you know.
Yeah.
But hey, man, this is vulnerable. This is a new Rye. This is a different Rye. I don't know.
Welcome to what I wanted to do as a storyteller. I wanted to find your characters, introduce them into the world, and then I wanted to conflict them in all of the ways.
Corrupt them, bring them to the dark side.
I wanted them to find their
necromancers, live in Harrowstone forever.
Their moral compass and shake that shit up, because that's what I want to see. I want to see each of you find ways that everything's hard. You still want to like follow your narrow line, but it's supposed to be challenging. It's what makes your characters interesting. If it's just as simple as like, it's goblin, kill goblin, done. Like that's kind of boring, right?
Die goblins.
But that's why like Eli and Oz, their dynamic is so
I do like
interesting. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
But
that
also,
makes
if they
sense.
kill each other, I like.
You guys haven't, yeah, you haven't done that yet.
Oh man, this is so it's so tough, man.
Oh,
That's so tough. What a place for Rye to be in. He
That was one of my goals, actually, was for Rye to question the validity of magic and its importance being under the oppression of necromancy pretty much his entire life. One of my goals is to have Oz find the validity in finding a god. Even if it's not something that they
Good
follow
luck
so
with that
devoutly,
one.
but seeing that
There's
there's
a few.
potency in that.
I mean,
Good
we got
luck with
options.
There is only one true option.
One of my goals is to have Temerity question her faith. And so far, I feel like I've been teetering that line.
I would agree with that. She's definitely drawing new lines.
Yeah, I like that. That's important. That's super important. So,
right? Like practical knowledge in the real world versus
Yeah.
book knowledge.
it's good stuff. Oz, you snuck upstairs. You were doing your
man.
thing.
Okay, all right.
I want to know.
Are they done already with their lady smoking? Okay, Oz has two different things he wants to do up here. The first one is, I'm gonna go get that storm ball.
You fucking monster.
Rye wanted it, or was it Torvin who wanted it? Rye had it. in his
Torvin
hand,
wanted
right?
6 of them.
Yeah.
But Rye had it in his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like,
Flubber.
he was curious about it. Yeah, he wanted flubber. He didn't want storm flubber.
Yeah. You wait till he's asleep and you break that shit in his mouth.
Wow.
God.
Why would... Wow.
That escalated.
All right.
We
Oz.
should do that because he's a necromancer.
Yeah.
And we question why we don't trust Tripp.
Yes.
The mouth storm steamer himself.
You know,
But I
right?
also don't know what I can do to stop Tripp. That's the other side of it.
Fair.
Like, Oz has nothing.
I've got my own goals, right? Like with Tripp, that's another character that I want to see where I can push the party. This is challenging, right?
No,
Tripp-
Bub, you're a monster. You're the monster, Bub.
Am I?
okay? Yeah, you are the monster. Like, I'm sitting over here. I'm legitimately, like, battling in my head, like, what the fuck is Rye? Like, what would Rye really do? And I was like, on one hand, he's like,
I want someone
Make-
screen cap. Someone capture that noise. That.
like it really is like it's a really difficult decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
You want to meet your family? I can help you with that.
What's that?
He's gonna
Said
kill
you-
you. That
You want to
Oh.
be reunited with your family? I can help
Oh
with that.
man. Oh no, man. God, man. Jeez, you're a monster, Bub. You really are. You are.
I'm sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, I bet. You put Ryan in quite a predicament.
Tripp's a wraith, man. Tripp is walking around as a dead guy inhabiting a 12-year-old's body, and the only thing that
Yeah.
you guys can think of is, I'm gonna fucking smite this guy. I'm gonna smite him so hard out of this body. But if I do that, it'll kill the 12-year-old. Can that go
Yeah.
on my conscience? Is that
If I
okay?
just lay on hands
I mean-
the shit out of him.
I mean, it
Oh.
went on mine. It also went on my stat sheet temporarily. Just
I mean-
putting that out there, you know.
Don't get me wrong. If he gets to a point where he is more like leaning towards undead, then he's dead. I don't give
Sure.
a shit.
Sure, I gotcha.
Sorry.
if it comes to my life or his life, my life.
You're gonna kneecap the 12-year-old in the midst of the zombie apocalypse. Rude.
You know, it's
Dude.
just
Only if I'm like gonna die, and he's attacking me.
No
That-
problem.
Yeah,
That's
go
you-
take
you-
this out on Harrowstone, I think.
you
Aggression.
inconvenience me by taking away a vessel.
So Oz, you sneak over, Pink Panther style. Dun-dun-dun-dun. You want to pick up this storm globe.
Yeah.
Okay. Temerity. You've waited that 15-foot gap so that you could rise just to see exactly what Oz is doing. And despite you seeing Oz, right? Despite you seeing this,
But wait. I use obscure object before I pick it up. That's what I've been plotting Since the moment I saw Rye pick it up, I was like, ooh, I could get that for Rye.
Dude,
You're gonna get it for Rye?
Yeah.
Bub
Mum
got
club.
the DM face. Bub got the DM face. Where he was like,
Did I just get
Always try.
he
PC'd?
gets to look like us.
Yep.
Like he's it.
What did I miss?
You brought him down to our level. The god was stifled.
Yeah.
No, watch. It's gonna be wild magic, and I'm gonna have to roll something.
Nope. Actually,
Really?
So
for once,
true
it
story.
works?
True story. Follow me on this one.
Okay.
2 pieces of wild magic came through. The first one was on the first spell cast. And then the second one was to prevent the first spell cast from being affected by wild magic. So somebody used their wild magic charge to save you.
Wow.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm watching. I've got the little ribbon, so you might be okay.
That's true. That's true.
Perfect. Well, you succeed. You managed to cast this upon this
So
object.
now you can describe what Temerity sees.
Right?
Temerity, you know what, Oz? This thing becomes invisible. The spell has basically hides an object from location by divination.
For 8 hours.
Oh, but from divination effects such as the scrying spell or a crystal ball. Oh, it doesn't even hide it.
Oh, really?
It just prevents it
Lame.
from being divined.
Okay, well.
You can still technically pocket it, right?
They just can't find it with any kind of magical means.
Correct.
It might be valuable if he goes up there and sees that it's gone.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, this is, I mean, what I assume to be a smart man. It won't take him. I mean, I literally picked up and played around. Torvin was like, I want 6. You know,
Yeah.
and like he's gonna go up there, it's gonna be gone. He's gonna be like, he doesn't need to divinate anything. He needs to just go, oh, these motherfuckers.
This doesn't really work. I bet if it doesn't, then that is kind of stupid.
All right.
Like I feel like Oz still would think it would, right? Like
Sure.
Oz is like, here I go. Like I'm
Oz, are you trying to pocket this? Are you going through with?
Yeah.
Give me a sleight. Give me a sleight of hand.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm not the greatest at sleight.
Temerity, this is going to be a little difficult for you to see, but I'm going to give you a roll. Oh!
9. I do get a reroll, but I'm afraid I'll roll lower.
Oh,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Go for
I
it.
got a
Go for it.
reroll.
Be better than Rye. That's all you gotta do.
It's gonna be worse.
Here you go.
Oh, 18.
Oz.
Nice.
Oz.
Nice.
Thank you for the reroll. That's my last reroll. I have
Oz.
no more.
I have 2. I want you to reroll.
Oh!
You demon!
You demon!
Oh. I can't look.
Oh wow, he's like
Oh my
reversing
gosh,
time.
you brought it back to the OG.
Temerity.
It's a 9.
Give me a
Can-
perception.
Can you use one of mine?
No, what the fuck?
Yes!
Did you
I
really
don't
roll
think
a
We
one?
made him use one of his,
Wow.
and
I don't see it.
Do you not have any luck rerolls?
I do.
Oh, fuck you, reroll that. I have 1 left. I want you to reroll that shit.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my god, you
Oh
Oh!
no, I'm gonna use one of my rerolls.
Oh, why would you do that?
oh, you still see
Hold
it.
on, I have 3 more.
Fuck!
Oh my god. No way.
Oh.
No!
No, you know what? I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep.
Oh my gosh. You're like
Yeah.
My eyes laser focus on.
yeah, you
what I'm
like
doing.
can't stop looking away.
The fucking triple take, man.
Like
I can't not
like the
notice
idea that
this.
I like
I
that
tried
you like
so hard
you're
not to
trying
see
not to. You're like, if I just don't see it, I can say that I don't know where it is. I can say I don't know where it is, but what is us?
Temerity,
So,
Oh my god.
you see it. Yeah, there is. It's,
I still can't get over this.
okay.
I put it under Pecker in the bottom of the bucket.
Okay. It's a big egg. Got it.
I put a little layer of something else in between.
So
We're gonna have fried chicken.
I wrap it in one of like his old pants and I put it underneath him.
Okay, I am gonna before Oz can see me, I'm gonna hide.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Oh my Lord.
All right, let me see if I see you.
Into the shadows.
Temerity is legitimately scary.
Oh, I don't
Just
see
like-
you.
Peace. I just fade out.
Yeah, you Homer Simpson. You just into the.
Yeah, Oz,
There was a chance if I
into the-
crit,
yeah.
because I have a 27 with my crit. So
you get
it was just
the
one higher.
feeling like someone's watching you, but when you turn after stuffing the storm orb under the pants of Pecker, you glance around and it's like no one's there.
Right. I'm gonna Pink Panther over to the desk.
Oh, damn it. Are you going to go through this desk too?
I'm looking for a key to open the chest.
Wait, what chest?
The one
One that's in his room.
yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I feel a lot safer now.
Dude, Oz is
Is there another
going.
chest?
And we're just fucking ruining him.
This is the best GTA heist ever.
Oh my gosh.
God.
Eli, I you know what? I want to know what's happening downstairs right now because Tripp and Eli
I'm still
together.
in the stairs, I guess, like in limbo.
Eli, what are you doing? Well, I'm curious. What do you got?
I was gonna go join. I'm gonna join them
Stick out your
downstairs
tongue.
and
Oh.
see about
I
this
did that already.
necromancy shit.
Got it. Okay. All right. So
Look, literally everyone gave up on trying to watch me. That's sad.
that's not true. It's accurate, Warren. It's accurate. So you begin to search his desk. Give me perception, please.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be up there with the criminals.
Sure, I got you.
Well, you got,
Oh, we're worse
Paladins-
downstairs.
Yeah,
We're
you
worse
got,
downstairs.
You got criminals upstairs. You got necromancy downstairs. This is a difficult choice for a paladin, all right?
Okay. All right.
How
so
much evil can you avoid in one home?
Oz, you don't find anything that looks like a key as far as you can tell. I mean, the pen, quill, ink vial, some papers. It borderline looks like he's grading documents on his desk.
Okay.
Nothing.
Was there
Go ahead.
another desk in his office, in his bedroom?
It's not like a desk. When you said it was like a locked chest, it's not a chest. It's sort of like an armoire, and it's technically behind. It's behind his bed.
Oh, okay. All right.
It'd be very obvious if you wanted to go to that because, well, you'd have to move his bed.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Not saying you can't. Where there's a will, there's a way, and you can try.
I didn't find a way to open it, so, yep, I happily make my way back down with my storm ball and Pecker's new egg.
Pecker is very confused because he can feel the thunder rumbling under his ass. So you probably get these.
And it's not a fart.
Yeah. Yes. Accurate.
What a lucky pecker.
Oh God. Temerity, what are you doing? What is even happening?
Laughing my ass off in the dark in a shadow. I think this is adorable, and I let Oz go downstairs, and I'm going to try to stealth downstairs to make sure that Oz doesn't see that I was up there.
Go for it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Of course you do.
Why are you
Is
such
my
a
sheet
god?
broken? I don't want to be. I wanted to trip, but there we are. So I'll just make my way and kind of come back, I guess, downstairs and be like, "What's up, guys? What's up?"
You make your way back downstairs, and for the sake of the experience, everybody kind of reaccumulates. You're all back into mostly the same room. Tripp's still minding his own. You see Torvin and Rye off to the smaller room where they are still focusing on this plant, talking about magics. Eli, you will regather with. Tripp, you see Oz, and then a few moments pass, and you will see Temerity skulking down the steps, not making any noise. Very, very, very quiet. But we've ran longer than we honestly should have tonight. So I'm going to call us here, sans the shenanigans, This has been a breath of fresh air for me. I've definitely needed it. And this is where we're calling tonight's session, guys. We will start.
I laughed like 3 times.
We will start next time here in said basement.
In the necromancer's garden in the shade.
Eli.
In the necromancer's garden, you just expect layer, right?
You're
Bro,
like
you
crushing
guys-
the bone plant statue in front of the mighty wizard.
I mean,
God.
in college we spoke some weird shit, but this might take the cake.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I feel like you kind of dodged a bullet on the level of intimacy that could have taken place between,
Oh, that's true.
his adolescent years till
Turns
then.
into Stranger Days. What is it? Stranger
Yeah.
Days? Is that what it was called? Never mind.
Poss-
Very Stranger Days.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, like, it just. Or what if you were there with like his personal reflection period, and then you had to see him do that? Like, then how do you, like,
I promise on everything that I wasn't gonna make anybody relive an experience where she was watching him like shower naked. Okay, that's like
I'm watching chat. One of them's like, Oz now has a vibrating pecker, and I just can't stop.
I
Guys,
mean, me
There's power
too.
behind it.
let's get our outs here, our outros for everybody. We'll start with Eli, aka CobaltStreak. Tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you, buddy?
Hey, I'm CobaltStreak. I'm sick right now, but hopefully I'll be feeling better and by tomorrow, and I'll be playing some Isaac, maybe the last spell, and Industries of Titan as well, which was a lot of fun. I stream 6 days a week on my channel, and I got a YouTube and a Twitter, and I play D&D here on Tuesdays and on Roll For It on Thursdays, and that's me.
Sick.
Thanks for having me.
My man, always a pleasure. Imperial, Misty, tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Hi, you can find me here on the Twitch at twitch.tv/Imperial, and all my socials are there. Ella's got the right idea. I got too many variations, so just go there and click follow and find me everywhere. I've been sewing a lot of bags lately, but we've also kind of gone back into the Sims, having a lot of fun there too. So come on by, say hi, and
Right
sub to
on.
Bob.
Oh, thank you very much. We have the man, Wyld. Tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you, buddy?
Hey, at the moment, I'm not streaming a lot, but we're coming back to it. The studio is mostly working now, finally. Thank God. We'll be doing a lot of Minecraft. There's actually a world that I found which is like 5 gigs in size. It's pre-made and completely customized. And I'm going to be taking a look at that, see if I can get that to run both, of course, in vanilla, but also with mods. But that's for the future. We'll see.
Sure. Sounds good, man. I dig it. Maggie, what are you doing these days? Where can we find you?
I'm MargaretKrohn. You can find me at MargaretKrohn in all of the places because that's my name. I do something almost every single day, or I have content that comes out every single day. So just follow me on your preferred platform, and you will hear of it. Twitter's the easiest if that's your jam. I do a lot of tabletop stuff and play games, and all of that jazz. And my day job is making video games. I currently work on a game called Ashes of Creation for Intrepid Studios, and you can find it at Ashes of Creation in all of the places if you're interested. That's me.
Amazing.
Sup to Bob.
Thank you. Hello. You're up, boss. Tell us about you. Where can we find you? What are you doing these days?
I'm Ellohime. I stream on Twitch primarily. I dabble in a few other things, but it's really not worth your time because I don't put much effort into it. But you can absolutely check out my content, which I do put a lot of effort into here on Twitch. And you can do that at twitch.tv/Ellohime. Everything else is linked there. I've been a little more active on Twitter lately, for better or for worse. Yeah, there's that as well. Thanks everybody for coming and watching, and thank you, Bub, for DMing. We appreciate it.
Always, man. I'm happy to be here. We've got our man Xander. Tripp, XanderDarks. What are you doing? Where can we find you these days?
Tuesdays you can find me here playing this game, and then Wednesdays streaming, either here or with myself. Yeah, I'm also on Twitter. I don't go on there much other than to tell people that I'm here. So yeah, that's what I do.
All right, buddy. Thank
Say
you.
your line.
What line? Which one?
Which one?
He's got a lot of lines.
You lost it.
He's got a lot of lines.
Yeah.
Let's not provoke that beast, guys. And then there's me. You found me here. I am Sort of working in and out of trying to take some breaks this week. Had some rough shit happen recently, so I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. I've got a slew of things to catch up on, but I'm trying to figure it out. Either way, Friday I've got a 12-hour stream. I'm going to figure out how to do that too. And I'm just out here trying to tell stories, make voices heard loud. And that's me. Come find me. Come see all the things that we do in this place. Check out the Patreon if you guys want to keep the stream alive, keep the dream alive. Remember, if we hit 100 patrons, then Pecker will be taken over by Splatterman himself. That'll be the body right there.
This.
Well, I mean, you got a lot of pre-warning, if I can admit that much. So guys, thank you again for everything. I love your faces. Do what you do. Stay safe, stay nerdy, and we'll catch you later. Have a good one. Peace. We're out.
Don't eat cheesecake with milk.